So yeah,
Hello, everyone.
I want to turn on the music. If I can find
Let me get some.
Chillstream music.
Good evening, everyone. Let's have a look. See who we've got. No one at the moment on my end, Tim.
Yeah, Theodore was in the YouTube chat, but hello, the monkey.
Hi.
Sorry, let me.
Where'd you get the fancy hat?
Hey, monkey.
Oh,
What's that?
I don't know who.
It's the Willy Wonka.
Okay.
Oh.
So is that an Oompa Loompa?
No, she's the girl that chews gum, and she.
Violet Beauregard.
Yep.
Ah. Okay. Cool.
And she even has that thing in her hair. Right there.
Is that a gum wrap? Oh no, it's a ribbon.
Yeah. And it's the official, and it's officially merchandise too. See, hold on.
Oh, we got another person in YouTube chat. Gorilla's Random Thoughts saying, hey.
Yeah.
How have you all been?
All right.
Hey, Gorillas. Haven't seen you here before. Thanks for joining us. How's it going? Great name. Great screen name.
Yeah, I think Gorilla's Random Thoughts is usually in some other live stream chats I go to.
Okay, cool. Welcome, Gorillas.
Oh,
So monkey, explain the hat. What's going on with the top hat? Is this some kind of Willy Wonka inspired?
Well, I was just showing it off because I got it, and it's not just any hat too.
Is it a plastic hat?
Yes, it is.
Right. Well, it suits you. Well done.
Thank you. For someone that loves to show off plastic figures, I thought you both would think it was really fitting for the stream.
Yeah, looks good, man.
And the best part about this is that whenever there's an echo, I can always.
We couldn't hear you at all when you did that.
I'm saying I'll do that whenever there's an echo.
Yeah, don't do that again. We couldn't hear you at all.
Okay. But remember last time when you were upset that I was wearing too much Grogu?
I wasn't upset.
Look what I'm wearing now.
I rarely get upset, man. I can't see what that is.
Yeah, we can't see. It's too small to see, and I can't make it out.
Sorry, man. Can't make it out.
Yeah, it's hard to see when you've got your videos cropped to 9:16. It's hard to. It's a little bit difficult.
It looks
to
like
see.
a drum. It looks like a drum, but I don't know what it is.
It's Boba Fett.
Oh, is it?
Boba Fett? Okay, now I can see the helmet.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot more on the back of it.
Ah.
Big design.
Is that another Christmas jumper?
Well, what can I say? It is the way.
It's Christmas every day with you.
Oh, thank you. You noticed.
Excellent.
So I will say, from what I saw, you did pretty good on the other stream, but I was a little confused, Monkey Boy. Like when they were talking about this stream, where they were saying it's important to vibe with anybody. I tried to send in a comment, but they didn't show the comment.
Oh, I don't know. Sorry, man. I can't see the comments
It's okay.
when I'm on another stream. Let me just say hello to the guys in the chat.
Okay.
Hello to Tom, 1980s and Star Wars guy. Thanks for joining us, man. Good to see you, buddy. Hello to Reading Movies. And hello to Gerard O'Connor. Good to see you as well, dude.
Okay, show us that Boba Fett again, because somebody wanted to see it in solo layout. It's a little hard to see.
Yeah, it's really hard to make out the design.
Yeah, it would help if you changed the aspect ratio of your video, because you got it in 9:16. It's hard to see. Yeah, that's a little bit better, but it's so dark in your things.
Oh, there we go. Just about catch him. Just about make him out. It doesn't come across very well on the camera, Monkey. I can just about make out the design.
Yeah, we can just barely see it.
It's not very clear, I'm afraid. Is he wearing a Santa hat?
Hold on a second. I'll fix it.
Okay. I feel like we're going to spend a lot of time to see this to see this Boba Fett image. I feel that we're setting ourselves up for disappointment here. Monkey, what are you doing?
I think he's adjusting something on his end.
Monkey, I swear to God, if you're naked when you turn your camera back on. Welcome to the chill stream, everybody. We can hear some rustling and a man getting undressed. Tim's drinking already. Monkey, stop it. This is infuriating. What are you doing?
What?
What are you doing? We're off to a great start, Tim.
Yeah.
Reading Movies is saying hello to Gerard and Gorillas. Reading Movies and I went for a trip today into Norwich, but more about that later.
Okay.
So you took that off and put it on the wrong way round, didn't you?
Yep, trying to show you more.
Well, maybe you should. Fantastic. Can you stand up wearing it? Maybe that might help if you stand up a little wearing it, so we could. Yeah, I can almost see it. Yeah, I'm getting a better.
Do you know, I can make out his helmet, but that's about it. I'm not quite sure. It's a very peculiar image. I can make out his helmet and the lines and stuff.
Yeah, it's just hard to see because it's on a black.
Yeah, and he's facing the side, isn't he? It's a side profile of his helmet, but
Well,
yeah,
I didn't.
I'm sure it's very cool.
Yeah, when it looks how it does look better. But
okay.
I didn't know it was making a lot of racket for you.
Yeah. If you're going to take it off and change it round again, can you mute your mic this time?
I will.
Thanks, man.
So far, I'm not doing too good on the stream, but I'm really trying.
It's okay.
But the good thing about that, even with the helmet, who all has seen the original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie?
Yep.
How many of you have seen it?
You mean
Yeah,
with
of course.
Gene Wilder?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that when I was a kid.
Do you remember when he's on the boat?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that gets a little bit scary.
He starts licking the wallpaper and starts saying, you know, like, oh, the strawberries taste like strawberries or whatever.
No, he's talking about the boat ride part. Yeah, he was talking about the boat ride scene.
Yeah, but they go into the tunnel and then he starts licking the wallpaper, I think.
No.
Is it in the tunnel? No?
No, I don't know what you're thinking about. Unless you're thinking of the Johnny Depp movie, because we're talking about
in the Gene Wilder one, there's one bit where they're licking the wallpaper. And
yeah,
I'm sure
but
it's
that's
on the boat ride.
No, that's after they get out of the boat and they go inside. The boat ride's all this weird psychedelic, like acid trip, where they see all this scary stuff and they see a chicken getting its head cut off and.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out again. I can't remember that.
But it's not. You don't see any blood. You just see a white colored chicken, and then you just see the axe going down.
Oh no. Oh, that's quite dark. Oh, I don't remember that bit. Which is the one where they keep is it the end of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory where they keep burping and floating up in the air, or is that the Great Glass Elevator?
But it's in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is the name of the film version.
Yeah, I always found that quite a disturbing film. Anyway, the Oompa Loompas used to freak me out, and I didn't like that character that was mentioned earlier on, the Violet, the big girl that was like really like she was quite mean. I didn't like that character. Oh, Dean's here. Hello, Dean. Hey, man. Thanks for stopping by, dude. Reading Movies is saying we had good noodles for lunch in Norwich Market. Yes, we did. We did. We treated ourselves to a Chinese noodle box each, which was very nice. Enjoyed that very much. Lewis went for more variety than I did. He had several different toppings, whereas I had all the same toppings. I chose 3 of the same toppings, which I believe was sesame chicken. I believe Lewis had sesame chicken, salt and pepper chicken, and sweet and sour chicken, I think, if I remember correctly. But it was very nice. We had a very good day hunting around. We went into a fairly new toy store that's opened up in Norwich. They have lots of vintage stuff, quite a bit of modern stuff as well. It's a very nicely laid out store. It looks very impressive. The displays are nice. Lots of Star Wars stuff in there. They had a huge wall of, I think, I can't remember now. Reading Movies, you'll have to remind me. Was it TVC figures or Retro Collect? No, it was TVC figures, wasn't it? A massive wall of them behind plexiglass, which looked very good. You couldn't buy any of them, sadly. There were one or two in there.
I can see it a little bit, but you keep holding it off to. Yeah, it's hard to see because it's on such a dark color.
Yeah, the image doesn't come across very well on camera, Monkey, sadly. But I mean, well done for trying. It's a very nice. It looks very nice. I'm sure it's very Christmassy.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit wrinkled now.
We're not getting anywhere with this, Monkey. We're going to be here all night. Yeah, no, it was a good shop. It was nice to walk around it. Unfortunately, the prices were a bit too high, and pretty much everything that we saw in the shop, we knew we could get cheaper either on eBay or Vinted or sometimes even Amazon. The prices were a little bit too high, I feel. They wanted, 30 quid for some Black Series figures that I know for a fact I can get for £20 on eBay. So I think they're kind of pricing themselves out of the market a little bit. I think if they don't address their ticket prices or their item prices, then I don't think the shop is going to be around for very much longer. Yeah, reading movies saying there was a Walmart exclusive. Yeah, there was a TVC Mimban Stormtrooper in the display. If that had been on sale, I probably would have bought that because I like that figure a lot. And with it being a Walmart exclusive, that was quite nice to see. But they had hundreds of them on this display wall, but none of them were for sale. So I think it's a bit of a shame, really. But yeah, as I say, the prices were a little too high. It was a little bit too rich for my blood, I'm afraid. So yes, we went in there and came out empty-handed. But there was some nice things in there. There was one item that I did really want to buy, but it wasn't for sale. I managed to pick the only thing in the shop, I think, that wasn't for sale, which was an illuminated Ghostbusters sign that was in a display cabinet. And it was at the front of a display cabinet. And I thought, oh, I like the look of that. So I asked if it was for sale, and they told me it wasn't for sale. So that was slightly disappointing because I would have quite liked to have come home with that. But I guess in 6 months, 12 months, however long the shop lasts, when they're doing their closing down sale, perhaps I can go in and make them an offer for their illuminated Ghostbusters sign.
Well, that's a very inspiring outlook.
I mean, I wish them every success. I mean, it was a very nice shop. It had lots of different levels to it. There's 2 or 3 levels to the shop, and lots of little kind of nooks and crannies and stuff. And the displays were very nice. And they've got a cafe in there as well. The guy was very keen on telling us about how good their pancakes were and their American style milkshakes. And I told him that sounded very nice, but I didn't tell him that I'm lactose intolerant, so I wouldn't be able to likely have their pancakes or their milkshake. I thought I would keep that to myself, but yeah. Hello, Jason. Thanks for joining us. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Trust me to pick the only thing that wasn't for sale. I hope you're having a nice time, Jason. Are you? I assume you're still in Orlando, are you? I don't think you're back yet, are you?
Yeah, I think he's still in Orlando.
Yeah, he's been posting some good little videos for us to see.
Again, sorry about not muting my mic.
That's okay, man. Don't worry. Chill.
So if I may ask, what is both of yours favorite version, and the chat, if they want to chime in, favorite version or adaptation of the Willy Wonka franchise? The Gene Wilder, or the Johnny Depp, or the newest version starring the kid from Dune?
I haven't seen the newest one.
Yeah, I just like the Gene Wilder version because that's what I grew up with.
Yeah, I think that's the one I prefer. I've seen that more times. I have seen the Johnny Depp one, and I thought it was good. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a Johnny Depp film that I didn't like. I think he's very watchable, and I think his interpretation of the character was pretty good. It was different. It wasn't, he sort of took it in a little bit of a different direction to Gene Wilder. But for me, Gene Wilder just seemed unhinged the whole time. I mean, Gene Wilder always seemed very peculiar to me. That was kind of his trademark, wasn't it? Being, you know, absolutely off the wall. And I remember one of my favourite films when I was younger was Stir Crazy with Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor. I loved that film. And of course, See No Evil, Hear No Evil. Fantastic again. So I do like Gene Wilder.
Did you see him in Young Frankenstein?
Yeah,
Yes,
I
but
saw him in Young Frankenstein
many years ago. Reading movies. Sorry, Monkey. Reading movies is saying he hasn't really seen the Gene Wilder version. It's worth a watch. It's quite disturbing. If you like the Tim Burton version, you might not enjoy the Gene Wilder version as much, because it is different. It's not. I don't know how to explain it really. It's the one I grew up with, so that's probably my favourite one. It's worth a look. Gene Wilder is quite wacky in that.
May I show you my favorite musical?
Yeah. Is that The Sound of Music? No, what is it?
No, it's Annie.
Oh, Annie. Oh, I haven't seen that. I don't really like musicals, to be fair. I've only ever seen a couple of musicals that I could tolerate. One of them was the Rocky Horror Show, and the Little Shop of Horrors, I think, was okay, and Sweeney Todd. But aside from that, I really don't do musicals.
Well,
I don't even know what Annie is about.
Well, what I think is really unique about this one is that since I got the 4K version of this one, you get to see Tim Curry in 4K.
I didn't even know he was in it.
Yep.
Yeah, we didn't know that.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot he was in that, but that was before I knew who he was.
Yeah, he even sings a song called Easy Street.
Mm-hmm.
So if I may ask Tim, what's your favorite musical?
I don't really know.
Oh, that's okay.
I can't think of one right now in particular.
It's okay. You're a fan of the greatest. What?
I don't watch. I generally switch musicals off when they start. The only reason I stuck with the Little Shop of Horrors was because of the subject matter, you know, because I was interested to see what was going to happen. And Sweeney Todd, I quite liked the whole dark, macabre nature of it. So I stuck with that. And because Johnny Depp was in it, and again, I sort of appreciated the performance. But on the whole, I don't do musicals. I can't stand it when people start singing in films. It just makes me want to turn it off.
Then does that mean you did not sit through any of the High School Musical films?
Definitely. Yeah, no chance.
Okay. Well, speaking of Sweeney Todd, I actually saw it in the theater, and that scene where they're on the beach during her dream sequence, it was the one scene in the film that was really stunning because it really popped. I mean, you see Johnny Depp in one of those 1920s swimming suits, and he's just there without his pad, and they're all on the beach, and it's the only scene in the film that is not taking place in like London, and it just really pops, you know?
Yeah.
But I hated the ending.
I can't really remember an awful lot about it. I bought it again a few months ago on DVD or possibly even on Blu-ray. I can't remember. I thought I'd like to give it a watch again, but I haven't watched it again since the first time I saw it. Reading Movies says that he doesn't really like musicals, but Grease is probably his favorite. Let's have a look. Gerard is saying that he enjoyed Dean's latest video. Yep, absolutely. Tom says that the Gene Wilder version is probably the most entertaining. He's seen the Johnny Depp version the most, but it's a bit too weird for him. Yeah, I would say that I'd agree with that. The Gene Wilder version is probably more entertaining. And Tom is asking, does South Park the movie count as a musical? Well, I suppose technically it does. There are quite a few musical numbers in it, so yes, I would say it probably is. Yeah.
Especially since Bravo Williams, I think, got an award for singing "Blame Canada."
Don't know. Oh, Monkey's got his red light on again. Monkey's open for business, everyone. Form an orderly queue. Gerard says that his ex-girlfriend used to sing the songs from High School Musical. Hence why she's the ex-girlfriend. I wouldn't know those films if they hit me in the face, to be honest. I've no idea. I mean, it all sounds horrible to me. Just the title High School Musical is a big no for me. There's no way I'm going to watch that.
Well, can you believe they made 3 of them?
I can believe it. Yes. Let's have a look. I think we're probably. Oh, hang on. Just going back a bit. Travels and More with Jason is saying that he's having fun there, and he's got a special event tonight. He's going to at Hollywood Studios. Excellent. Cool. Well, I hope you have a good evening, man.
He should be able to see the Addams family house while he's there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I've never been to anywhere like that. I've never been to America.
The one from the 60s film, not the 90s film.
Where in America do you live, Monkey?
I would rather not say, because I'm kind of I'm not supposed to say, but I don't want to seem like I don't want to sound like I'm being a dick, but I'm just saying that.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Let's just say you don't get to be how I am through a normal life. And since I had a very messed up past where I had to be taken away, they kind of don't let me say where I am while I'm on live streams.
Okay. No worries. You're a secret agent, aren't you? That's what it is.
No, I have one because I have one because I was taken for my safety.
Ah, okay. Okay. Fair enough. Excuse me, I need to regularly hydrate myself, so you'll have to.
It's okay. Hydration is key to staying alive, right, Tim?
I was away from the computer. I had to use the restroom.
Aha.
Well, he was apologizing for taking drinks a lot, and I was saying it's perfectly fine. Taking drinks a lot is the key to staying alive, right, Tim?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do have to drink a lot. It's because of my diabetes, you see. That meal that Reading Movies and I had at lunchtime today had quite a lot of sugar in it, I think, because it was sesame chicken. so one would expect there to be quite a lot of caramelized sugar and stuff in that. So I've taken lots of insulin, but it means I'm going to have to drink loads for the rest of the night. But that's
Well,
fine.
I have a similar story. There was one time where I was at a facility, and I had this I had a meal, and I had the dessert, and then I was like, why am I feeling so jittery? And I was asked if I had my dessert, and I said yes, and they were like, it's not too good to have so much sugar since you had your corn. And I'm like, what? And they were like, there's sugar in the corn.
Right.
So since I had had a dessert after having the corn, it kind of, I wasn't used to so much sugar in my system.
Uh-huh.
But I can take off the Willy Wonka hat if it's offending you, since you're a diabetic.
That has nothing to do. It's okay.
Excellent.
You don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
Excellent. Excellent.
So Tim, have you picked up any more figures?
Yes, I have. I don't know. I don't know if I showed these last time. I got a couple of stormtroopers.
Cool.
I bought these off of eBay.
Cool. You got loads of stuff this week, didn't you, Tim?
Yes. So I got a couple. Oh, let me make it big. See, I've got a pair of stormtroopers.
Yeah, they're cool.
And then also from eBay, I got two more of those Marvel Legends retro figures done like vintage Star Wars figures.
Oh, cool.
I got Magneto and Cyclops.
Are they 5 POAs?
Yes.
Yeah, they look cool. I love those card backs, man. But you're going to open them, aren't you?
Yes. I don't
Oh,
like.
you monster.
I don't
You
like
monster.
to leave anything in prison, and
But they
plastic
look so
does not.
nice on the card. They look
Yeah,
so
but
good.
plastic does not last forever.
No, that's true. That's true. But those card backs look really good. I think they display really well.
And
Well, if I might just say, since you don't like to have anything in prison, does that mean you don't have Han Solo in carbonite?
that's different, though.
That's a nice figure.
Yeah, I got Luke Skywalker in Stormtrooper disguise, and then did I show you the Han Solo in Stormtrooper?
I don't think so. I don't remember.
Maybe that was one of the late things that came late last week, because I showed you Jyn Erso and I showed you Chewbacca. Then I had Han Solo in Stormtrooper disguise.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then there was a couple like diorama play sets I got recently. I got the Detention Block Rescue playset.
Cool.
Yeah, and it has a little laser. The cannons fire lasers, and
that's cool.
That's one thing down here. That's a different playset.
Oh.
So they go in. Yeah, they go down here and then slide the door open to rescue Princess Leia, and then there's the garbage chute right next to her.
Yeah, yeah. What's that? What's the blue bit at the top?
That's the guns. It's the cannon.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cannon fires lasers. So,
Cool.
and then I got yeah, there was one other one that Hasbro made. Where they can swing, where the bridge is out, so he attaches that thing onto the ceiling to slide across. So that's why I got a couple stormtroopers. I can have one on top and one on the other side, or I could just put two of them on one side and he can shoot at them like in the movie.
Cool.
And then you also have the option of putting the bridge in, and then you can add in Darth Vader and Obi-Wan to duel.
Oh. Okay.
In 1980s and Star Wars guy, yes, South Park the movie definitely counts as a musical. Very foul-mouthed musical, but it's a musical nonetheless. So that's all I had to show off. I'm waiting on a couple DVDs to come.
You've frozen, Tim. Tim
let
has
it go, let it go. Can't hold it back anymore.
There we go. We're back.
And Gerard O'Connor says, my ex-girlfriend used to sing the songs from High School Musical films, hence ex-girlfriend, laughing out loud. In 1980s and Star Wars guy, I really like Blues Brothers, but I don't consider it as a musical.
I've never seen it. It's one of those films that I wouldn't say I've always wanted to see it, but it's always been on my list. It's been on my list to watch forever, and I've just never got around to it for some reason. I never feel in the mood for giving it a try. But from what I understand, it's very good, and I do like Dan Aykroyd. But I just never seem to sit down and watch it. Well, I can't at the moment because I don't have it. But does Labyrinth count as a musical? Gerard's asking. I just remember Bowie singing Dance, Baby Dance. Might have been the only tune. I don't know. I didn't like Labyrinth.
I actually thought it was pretty great, but I am a David Bowie fan. But yes, it had a few songs. Oh, but I would classify it as a musical because it does start out with David Bowie singing a song, and then like she's doing a play, and then like there's multiple songs in it. Like yes, David Bowie does do that one song about the dancing, and he sings the one about you remind me of the babe. What babe? The babe with the power. And then he sings another song towards the end. And so yeah, I would classify it as a musical, as much as people classify Sound of Music as a musical.
Right. No, I didn't like some of the creatures in Labyrinth. I found them a bit creepy, and I just didn't like it when I first saw it. And I've never been a David Bowie fan. If I'm honest, I can't bear him.
Yeah, well, you gotta understand it's a Muppet movie, basically.
Yeah. I mean, it was Jim Henson, wasn't it? I mean, some of the characters were fine, but other ones I really didn't get on with.
And he did it with George Lucas. He collaborated with, and then he had Cheryl Gates McFadden, Dr. Beverly Crusher from Star Trek The Next Generation choreographed the dance sequences in that movie.
Oh. Wow.
Oh, speaking of that, I had a chance to get Quark's vessel, his ship, but the seller wasn't very reputable, and he only had like 17 items that he had sold, and he had a 98.7 trust rating. So I didn't take a chance, but I would have had Quark's space vehicle, but it seemed too good to be true, you know.
Yeah.
Reading Movies is asking if anyone enjoyed the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah,
and he's saying that Super 7 have got pre-orders for the figures. Okay.
Yeah, but those figures that they have out now aren't for the cartoon. They're based on the actual game, actual role-playing game.
They do have the cartoon figures out as well.
Yeah, they do. They've had those out for a while.
Yeah, I quite like the look of those. They look quite good.
But the Super 7 figures that have been out on the card back, those are based off of characters shown on the cover art for the role-playing game books.
I think if the cartoon figures had come in window boxes, I might have considered buying them, but they came out with that whole plastic-free packaging fad, and I just wasn't interested in buying them in the box like that. I would have quite happily displayed them on the card in a bubble.
Did you?
No, they go on.
They didn't. Yeah, but did you see Retro Blasting's video on them?
Yeah.
Okay. Grease is a musical, but Labyrinth, I'm not sure if it's so much a musical, though.
Someone's asked Skeletor a question about Grease this weekend, which I wasn't too happy about, because I would prefer never to discuss Grease ever again.
You don't like John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John?
No, I don't. No, I can't bear that film.
Don't worry, Tim. It wasn't me.
Yeah, no, I have seen Grease. Probably, I've definitely seen it twice, but I didn't enjoy it any of the times I've seen it. I think it was back in the day when you just kind of watched whatever was on TV, because we only had 4 channels, so you had to watch something. And so I have had the misfortune of seeing that film a couple of times. I didn't realize it's quite a racy film. Some of the lyrics to the songs are actually quite saucy, and I didn't realize that at the time. But yeah, especially like Grease Lightning. If you look up the lyrics to Grease Lightning, it's actually quite rude. Tree's saying Grease is the word. Yeah, I know. Tree's a fan of Grease. Gerard's asking what's been cut out of the picture. I'm not sure what that refers to.
I think he was talking to Dean of All Things 80s. He said, no pickups for me either. In fact, I've been doing the opposite and have let one of my few modern interests go.
Oh, okay. Gerard's saying he's off to the tattooist tomorrow. Excellent. I can only assume that you're getting a tattoo of Skeletor on your ass.
Are you ready for a surprise?
Yeah.
You were mentioned Dungeons and Dragons, right?
Yep. Oh, is that the recent film?
This is the first version they did.
Oh, okay. It's hard to see when you're small like that, but I don't think I've seen any Dungeons and Dragons films. I used to watch the cartoon a lot.
It's the one that has the it has the Did you ever see the Lewis and Clark TV show?
No.
Well, it has the guy that played Jimmy. Well, I honestly thought you would have seen this film. Sorry.
Nope. Nope.
I think I saw it. It's with Thora Birch is in that one.
What?
Thora Birch is in it.
Yes, yes, yes.
She was an American Beauty, and interesting story about her. Her parents were porn stars.
I've got. I was just looking at a comment from Dean that's saying he's let one of his modern interests go, and I've got a horrible feeling from his next comment that he's kept 2 figures and 2 cats. I can only assume that Dean has got rid of his Motu collection, which is a very surprising and I'm not going to lie, horrifying thought. That's certainly a bold decision, if so. Wow. Okay. Okay. I don't think I could ever sell any of my stuff. Oh no, Dean! I can't believe you've done that. Did you sell them
No.
all as one bulk lot, Dean, or have you pieced them out? Because if you sold them all in one hit, that's that's a lot easier, obviously, because you had quite a lot of them, didn't you? So to piece them out would be quite a lot of dicking around. I think you possibly had more than I did, Dean, and I've got a lot of them. I kind of stopped when the Snake Men waves started. I didn't get the Sunman waves because I had no connection to the characters, and I kind of called it a day when they started bringing out all the Snake Men because I wasn't so much a fan of those. So I would be more interested if they brought out figures like Cyclone, or have they done Cyclone yet? I can't remember. Or Shadow Weaver. But these they kind of started delving into slightly wider character groups that I wasn't really that interested in. So I'm not sure that I'm going to get many more Origins. Okay. Dean sold them in a couple of large lots. Yeah, fine. Yeah. Oh, okay. Dean saying that he didn't have them as a child, so there was no emotional attachment. Yeah, I mean that's fair enough.
Yeah, so don't
It's
take
just
it
very
personal.
surprising.
Don't
Very
take it
surprising
personally,
choice.
Monkeyboy. He just
No,
didn't
I won't
have
take
any
it.
attachment to it.
No,
And
no. It's up to Dean. If he doesn't feel that there's a place for them in his collection, then absolutely move them on. Um, I'm in the position where I haven't really bought anything that I think I'm gonna ever want to move on.
mhm.
I really can't. No matter what I think of that I've got in my collection, if I think of getting rid of it, I don't want to. Where slight hoarding or not, I don't know. I mean, I only buy stuff that I really like. I mean, that's it. I found it very difficult last week doing my best of 2023 video because I like all the stuff. I mean, there's stuff that I got prior to 2023, which obviously wasn't going to make the video because I didn't buy it last year. So it was easier in that respect. But I got so many good lines last year. I got loads of if you guys have seen my video from last week. I got all my real Ghostbusters figures last year, vintage ones at least. I had the reissues prior to that, but I got all my reissues. Sorry, I got all the vintage ones this year. The Firehouse, the 4 Ghostbusters, and several of the ghost monster characters. I got lots of DC multiverse figures from McFarlane, and I think that's a great line. Of course, I got all my Playmobil last year as well, and they're all fantastic. Picked up the muscle figures as well. Started getting those again last year. So there were so many lines that I was really pleased to get into the collection last year. I found that quite a difficult video to keep under 20 minutes really. And I forgot to include my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collection, which I got at the beginning of December. I completely forgot to add it into the video because that's another line that I'm very happy to have. So I've been very lucky for the past couple of years. I've been able to get stuff that I really do like and really do want to keep in the collection. Gerard saying he thought, no way is Dean getting rid of his many Catwoman figures. Well, I guess you've moved those on, Dean, and it's less stuff to pack up, isn't it? Because I understand you're up against it with all the packing, so that's certainly going to save you some time and space. But yeah, wow.
If I may say, I have an update on that new Masters of the Universe line.
What, the cartoon collection?
The new figures, the new figure line of the Master of the Universe. The update is a lot of stores are actually discounting it, and some stores are even selling the new line, each figure still in the container, $8 a piece. It seems they're not selling too well.
Is this the cartoon collection, the Filmation style?
This is the version where Beastman has so much armor on.
Oh, is that the Masterverse line then?
Yes, yeah.
No, they weren't popular. You gave me a fright then. I thought you were talking about the cartoon collection. I was going to say I would be very disappointed if they sold those cheaply, because I've already pre-ordered all mine. I paid retail price for all of mine, but no, the Masterverse collection really didn't take off. It's Kevin Smith's fault.
Well, if anybody wants to pick horrible figures up at a decent price, now's the time.
Yeah.
But I'm actually the same way, but only when it comes to movies. I never buy a movie, Blu-ray or 4K that I don't absolutely love, because during my bad past, I don't want to get into it, but I'm just saying I know what it's like to well, I can't really get into it, but do you want to read the rest of the comments?
Let's have a look. What have we got? Tom saying he's got to make like a tree. Thanks for joining us, Tom. Thanks for popping by. Dean says it was going to cost a few $100 to ship the Motu figures, and he would need close to 100 figure stands, and they were going to take up valuable space. So,
I completely agree. I completely agree. I can vouch for him, because the item I was going to get was going to come from the UK, and that was going to cost $22 to $24 just in shipping.
That's not actually that much, really. That's probably on the lower end of shipping. You probably get. I'm not sure if you get a better deal shipping stuff from the UK to the US, but but shipping costs from the US are absolutely astronomical.
Yeah, I'm just saying I have an idea of how much it would cost since he like in shipping, so I
Yeah.
understand how it's just not worth it to him to spend so much for
Yeah.
having because me, that was only one figure. He has a complete collection he'd be shipping over. So that's how I'm saying I have an idea as
Yeah.
the astronomical price it would, and it when the price doesn't when the price it would cost to ship it over equals how much your figures are worth, it's not worth it.
Right. How come you had to get a figure from the UK? Was it not available where you are, presumably?
No, I love Neelix, but like I said, the person had only sold 17 items and had a 98.7 trust rating, and
Right. Yeah.
also had a stream name of just a whole bunch of like numbers and doohickeys, and I got a icky feeling about it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, Gerard's saying that he's awaiting the full count of the Batman 66 collection. Yeah. Yeah, we saw quite a lot of Batman 66 McFarlane figures today in the in one of the toy shops in Norwich. Reading Movies pointed them out to me, and I said, "Yep, Dean's got all of that, and much more."
I was excited because guess what's on pre-order
Dunno.
recently? The 3.75 size version of Finn.
Okay.
Finn from the new Star Wars series.
Okay, and what range is that? Is that TVC or
Well,
retro collection or?
it's a 3.5 version. He's in normal attire and he's carrying that weapon. So it's from the scene where he's where he's walking on the carrier and he passes Poe and he's just carrying that weapon. It's in A Force Awakens.
Yeah. Do you mean
The
electric weapon?
the big like gun where he's still in the jacket and that scene that just takes like 5 seconds where they pass each other and they say a greeting and Poe's just carrying the weapon, but they're finally releasing the 3.75-inch version of his character. I mean, heck, they even released the villain in that size from Ahsoka, and now they're only now releasing on pre-order the 3.75 Finn from The Force Awakens. So that makes me hope. But, sorry, what?
I was just agreeing. Yeah.
Oh,
because they released the Balin Skull figure, didn't they?
Interesting you mentioned that. Let's just say I have it, but it's in transit. I'm really excited for it, but I bought the big figure. I bought the one that has all the artwork and I mean that he's I don't know if I talked about the show before, but he's my favorite character in the show because remember I was gonna get the other figure, the female figure, but they changed the design on her armor.
Okay.
So now she has like these scratches on her armor. They're like plates. They're like has this horrible design on it. It's like they're like, we don't want to show anything that indicates she has those. So we're gonna put these things. It's like if you drive over a Jeep, you go bump, 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 bump. It's like her outfit had no lines like that on it. They're like almost like armor lines, but they're not. They're like they're even worse than the they're even worse than Tony Stark armor line. So cancel that one, but I'm still getting that one. But yeah, I'm getting the. Tim, do you know the size of those figures, or do you, Monkey Boy, the larger ones?
I'm not sure.
No. Hold on. Oh. I was having trouble hearing you, so I didn't really hear the answer to
I
if.
don't know what scale your figure you're talking about.
Oh, and I'm sorry if the helmet was making noise. I took it off, so there shouldn't be any more scraping noises.
Okay.
How
Hi,
am I
Ben
doing today?
in chat.
Hello, Ben. Hey, man. Thanks for dropping along. Good to see you, bud.
And hi, Lack.
Hello, Lack.
Sidrak in the chat.
Hello, Lack. Probably one of my favourite screen names on YouTube. Do like a bit of Lack Sivrak. I really, really wish they would give us Lack Sivrak in the vintage collection. I doubt it will happen because he's unfortunately not getting the love that he deserves. But I really would like a Lack Sivrak TVC, or even a Black Series, but that's not going to happen, is it? But there is a chance we might get him eventually in TVC, I suppose. But I've got the Power of the Force version, and that's as good as I've got at the moment, I'm afraid.
Monkey Boy, the monkey was asking how's he doing today so far.
How's who doing today?
The monkey who's on the panel with us, he was asking us how he was doing so far.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no worries, man. It's all good, man.
Thank you.
Relax, man. It's all good.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm losing them. Yeah, you disappeared for a second.
Yeah, just dipped out for a second. That's okay. It happens. No worries. Lack saying hello to Tree.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Let's have a look.
If I may ask you all quickly, are you the same way? Like, if the character doesn't, like, when it comes out in figure form, if it doesn't look exactly how it did in the show, does it kind of bug you a bit too?
It does to a certain extent, yeah. I mean, I think it depends who the character is and whether we've had them before. I mean, what I don't particularly like parts reuse. So when they basically just change a couple of parts and then give us a sculpt that we've already had, I understand why they do it, and I appreciate that they need to make their money from the mold. I get that. But I do like the characters to be fairly screen accurate. That's why I was so impressed with the Sabine Wren and Hera Syndulla figures, because both in the Black Series and the TVC, the figures were very screen accurate with the costumes, and the face sculpts were excellent, and I was really happy with that. So yeah, I mean, I would say I do like them to be as accurate as possible. It was quite annoying when they brought out the heavy artillery Mandalorian, Paz Vizsla. When they first released him in the Black Series, they were just reusing the head sculpt from the regular Mandalorian, I think, because it didn't have the right angles on it. It didn't look the same. It wasn't a screen accurate helmet, and that was frustrating. I still bought a couple of them, but they've since released him with an accurate helmet, sculpt. So yeah, I would say it does bother me. How about you, Tim? Do you look for screen accuracy in your figures?
When it came to the original Star Wars movies, I don't have Disney Plus, so I've never watched The Mandalorian aside from clips on YouTube. So, and I refuse to watch not the prequel, the sequel trilogy because it is so freaking bad. But
Yeah.
when it comes to screen accuracy, like the original Star Wars, they weren't 100% accurate to the film, but they were accurate enough, so I was pretty much happy with what we got.
Right. Okay. And you mentioned the prequel trilogy. Have you not seen the prequel trilogy then?
Yeah, the prequel trilogy I saw.
Sorry, I meant the sequels. Yeah. Have you seen those?
I refuse to see those. It's just that I've heard too many bad things about them. I'm not going to see them.
Oh, okay. Well, I think you're missing out. I mean, there are some good
moments.
No,
I'm not missing out, Monkey Boy.
I can understand you might not want to, that you haven't heard good things about them, but
I don't think I'm missing out at all, because how am I missing out? They kill off Luke, they kill off Han Solo, and they kill off Princess Leia. How is that missing out? I did not. I don't need any of that garbage.
Yeah, I mean, there were some bad decisions made, I think, but I mean, I don't hate them. I've always said I don't hate the sequels.
Kathleen Kennedy is a hack. She does not have any talent whatsoever. She might be able to make coffee. And Steven Spielberg has said in interviews the only thing she was good at was interrupting people. So she does not need to be making movies at all or writing things.
Yeah, I agree. She shouldn't be in the position she's in. She's made a real mess of things. I would 100% agree with that. Yeah. I'm hoping they bring out some more standalone movies, like Rogue One and Solo, because I thought they were both very good. Well, Rogue One was very good. Solo was okay. It wasn't terrible. There were some good moments in it. So I'm hoping they do another standalone movie to that kind of standard. But we'll have to see. There's no telling what's going to happen now. All bets are off at the moment.
I think that they might be coming out with a Mandalorian movie.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure on this. It's just something I heard the other day, and I wasn't awake to tune in for Midnight's Edge in the morning earlier today, so I didn't get to see them talk about it a little bit more. But Disney might be coming out with a solo Mandalorian movie just because that Rey movie has gotten so much backlash.
Right.
Do you want to know what new series I want them to come out with?
What?
Go on.
I want them to come out with a prequel TV show from the perspective of Jen Erso's father when he was the engineer on the thing. That way we would get more Mads Mikkelsen, since his characters really seem to be the most complex and kind of like he was the only one that could make it work, but he didn't want to be there, but he was only doing it for his daughter's safety.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to see some more of the backstory of the character, I guess. But my fear would that it would end up being like the Andor TV show and just be overly political. And
but
I don't want that from Star Wars. I don't watch Star Wars to get politics.
I don't think Andor was so much political. I think it was too much like a primetime soap opera. It was too much drama. It just wasn't really that fun enough that everybody could enjoy it.
Yeah, nothing really happened. There wasn't enough action. There wasn't enough. It just didn't feel like Star Wars to me.
Well, I
I
heard that they ripped off part of THX 1138, which was George Lucas's student film. But what did
then
you
I'll
want to
just
say, Nancy?
then I'll just say this. I'll go on record saying I'm a Mads Mikkelsen fan. I loved him in Hannibal, and I just want to see more of him in
Oh,
on film and screen. E-
yeah,
even
he
if
is
he
good.
does a cooking show, I'll watch it.
No, he is good. Yeah, I like him. He's a very good character actor. There was another film that I saw him in, and I can't remember the title of it, but he played a man that was accused of something horrific. I can't remember the name of the film though, but he's a very good character actor. Very good.
Did any of you see the one where Mads Mikkelsen is on the cover drinking?
Don't know.
Well, okay.
Yeah, not sure. Reading Movies is saying that there was a lot of Elite series die-cast figures for Rogue One in the shop that we went in today. Yeah, there was. They had a nice weight to them. I like the fact that they were, they were die-cast and the sculpts were okay. But for me, the paint apps were just not there. They did not look good with the paint apps. And I assume they're not using the face printing technology because they just looked very flat and they just really didn't do it for me. Hello, Delvian. Thanks for stopping by, man. He says that he imagines the prison scenes in Andor are based on an Amazon fulfillment center.
I completely agree. For a period of time, I was getting items from there, and they kept coming damaged. So I completely agree with Seek.
Yeah, some of those videos and images that are coming from the fulfillment centers are they're quite scary, aren't they? With all those robots whizzing about and stuff in those massive warehouses. It's frightening, really.
I I would never go to one.
Dean saying he saw something on Twitter the other day where some people were saying they watched Book of Boba 6 times and enjoyed it more each time. Oh my goodness.
No, thank you.
Really? No.
No, thank you.
There were some
I
moments
only,
in it I liked,
yeah,
but
I only. May I say something really quick?
mhm.
There's only 2 episodes in Boba Fett that I loved the most. It was the one that says the Mandalorian returns,
Yeah.
and the one where it shows Luke with Baby Grogu, and it also has Ahsoka in it. And also, if I may also say, the episode where Luke returns Grogu to him. I think it's the last episode, right? But it where 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 the Mandalorian gets Grogu back.
Right, yeah.
That one. Those are the only episodes I loved in the entire series. You could not. I mean, heck, even if Mattel or the Master of the Universe line knocked on my door and said, "We will give you every single figure in our series if you just watch Book of Boba Fett 5 times," I would be like, I would slam the door in their face, because those episodes that do not have Baby Grogu and the Mandalorian, they're not worth watching one bit. So I would turn
Yeah.
down every figure. if I had to watch them again.
Yeah, I'm not in a hurry to watch it again. I liked the episode with Cad Bane in it because I like the character, and I was happy to see him.
It was
in live action.
heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking because he died.
But did he die though? Because when the camera panned down to him at the end, the little light on his chest was still flashing on his life support system. It was still flashing. So
Who died?
I don't think he died.
Who
I
are
don't
you
think
talking about?
Cad Bane
Okay.
in the Book of Boba Fett. He was shot and he fell down, and then when the camera pushed in at the end, you saw the light blinking on his chest life support system. So I think he'll be back. I don't think they would have brought him in just for that very short amount. They spent too much money on the character design to only have him in.
Monkey Boy, you got it wrong. He wasn't shot. He was stabbed through the heart with that spear.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, sorry. But
It's okay.
my point being that I think when they did that camera push at the end, I think there was a reason that light was blinking on his chest panel, and I think they spent so much money on the character design, and bringing him in. I think to kill him off straight away, I think would have been. I just can't see Disney doing that. I can't see that happening. I'm pretty sure he'll be back because he was a very popular character in the animated series, and yeah, it was a very highly anticipated character. And when he arrived, I think he was a real crowd pleaser. I'm sure he'll be back. I'm sure that's not the last we've seen of him.
I'd say I thought he was the most evil character in that entire show. And the best part is he was also a character from the Clone Wars, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I really loved how where he said to him, "This is my final lesson to you." So
Yeah.
he referenced their past, and I thought that was a good continuation.
Yeah, no, I really did like that that character. I was really happy at I think last year Reading Movies and I went to the Norwich Toy Fair, and there was a guy cosplaying as Cad Bane, and he had a fantastic costume. He looked really good, and I was really stoked to see him there. I got a picture with him. I thought he was fantastic. Maybe a little short, the guy that was playing him, but no, I really do like that character. I think that whole kind of space gunslinger look, with his trench coat and his dual pistols and stuff. I think he looks really cool. I do like that.
If you go to the next one, are you going to try to track down a cosplayer dressed as Sabine Wren to have your picture taken with?
Yeah, I absolutely would. I mean, who knows? I mean, there are not the Norwich Toy Fair is very small, and there are not that many cosplayers there. Obviously, it's because it's not a convention; it's just a toy fair. So it's a bit hit and miss sometimes with the people that were there. The last one I went to, they had Darth Vader. They had a Death Watch Mandalorian. They had a Scarif Trooper, and there was a young lady dressed up as Ahsoka, but the Ahsoka costume wasn't amazing. And there was a TIE fighter pilot as well. He looked quite cool. But yeah, you never know who's gonna show up.
Well, then here is the question: have you ever had your picture taken with someone dressed up as Darth Maul?
Nope. No, I've never seen a Darth Maul.
Well, as far as figures that I want them to come out with, I want Ahsoka's ship.
Okay, I wasn't really that impressed with the ship. I mean, I wasn't
Well,
really impressed with the Mandalorian ship either, really.
well,
Um,
the reason why is because then I could bring it outside and take pictures of like it in the forest, like in a forest setting. And then like I'm sure you've seen there's actually people that take pictures of like the Star Wars ships in a forest setting because then it looks like it's in the real Star Wars universe, you know?
yeah, yeah.
Um, what about you, Tim? Is there any figures you hope they come out with?
I don't know, but they might come out with the Tonica sisters. That would be
Well,
something.
how about this, Tim? Would you ever collect like I know how you feel about the new about the newer films, but in the newer films, Leia had a lightsaber. Would you ever want to collect her lightsaber?
I don't know. They made an expanded universe Jedi Leia a while back, so I'm not
Hmm.
really sure.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if
It's
we'll get
okay. Oh,
Tonica sisters though. I'm not sure we'll get those because I think one of the actors that played the Tonica sisters wouldn't give her likeness rights. I think
Yeah,
one of
but
them was okay with it, but the
she
other one
died
wasn't.
though, so one of them died.
Yeah,
So I
it
think
might all get
they might happen.
okay. Okay.
well, then if I may go off topic, is there any I don't know if you're into this, Monkey Boy, but are you into the Harry Potter figures?
No,
Okay.
no,
How about you?
I'm not a Harry Potter
Oh,
fan. I watched the first film and thought it was great for what it was, but I lost interest fairly quickly after that. I've never read the books.
oh, okay.
It's not really a property that I'm particularly enthusiastic about.
Yeah, and
I'm not.
Oh,
I'm not into it either, and I've never read the books. And I have a friend who read the books, and he cannot stand the movies at all.
Ah,
okay.
okay. Um, I know someone whose cousin was in the Harry Potter films. Um, I can't remember what character now, but their cousin was in it. But no, I never really was interested in kind of magic and that kind of thing particularly. The odd thing here and there maybe, but generally it's not. Wizards and things are not really my bag. I like the Lord of the Rings movies. I didn't like the book very much. The book was a bit of a mess, if I'm honest. I know that's probably sacrilegious to say that, but I really struggled to read the Lord of the Rings because it just it wasn't particularly easy to get through. Some parts were a real slog to get through. And also, I really hated the character of Tom Bombadil. I thought he was a dickhead. Um, and I'm not surprised they left him out of the movies, to be honest, because that just made me cross. That character and that section of the book really did wind me up. Um, but I enjoyed the Peter Jackson films. I thought they were very good.
Speaking
I
of
don't mind those.
speaking on Lord of the Rings, have you heard the news? They're working on the second season to that Amazon show.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen the first season.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I never watched that.
that's not. Yeah, it's not a show I'm interested in seeing.
Yeah, I
Rings
don't
of
know if it's
Power.
any good or not.
Yeah, Rings of Power. I've heard too many bad things about.
Right. Yeah.
I think they tried to make it into another Game of Thrones because they couldn't get the full rights to Lord of the Rings, so they had to change a bunch of stuff, and then they made just too many stupid mistakes.
And if you ask me, what I think hurt the show the most is they added 13 new characters into the series that was never in the books.
Right.
So you are correct, both of you. The show should never be watched by anybody that hasn't watched it yet. So I completely agree.
Okay, and Reading Movie says he has to go. Feeling pretty tired now. Thanks for the live stream, guys. Yeah, and thank you for coming by, Reading Movies.
Thanks, dude. Catch you later.
And Ben Stetley in the chat says, to the panel, if you had to, which would be your Star Wars cosplay costume? I always used to dress as a skeleton for Halloween gigs, but really wanted a stormtrooper costume.
Good question.
What do you think, guys? Tim, what would you go? What would you like to dress up as?
Well, I was Darth Vader for Halloween as a kid, so maybe a Jedi Knight Luke.
Okay.
Mine. Oh, the character I have in transit, that guy with the beard.
Oh, Balin Skull.
Yes.
Okay. I don't think I would be able to choose, actually.
What?
I don't think I would be able to choose a character. There'd be so many that I'd like a really good Chewbacca costume. If it was a good one, if it looked really good, that would be cool. I'm not really tall enough to be him, but if it was a good costume, I'd like a Chewie costume. Obviously, a stormtrooper would be great. That would be fantastic. I think that's a really good character design. It's one of my favorite designs anyway. But I think probably Boosh, Leia Boosh. I know that I'm not a woman, but I'd like to go as Boosh because I think that's one of my favorite characters.
Do you know who?
I'm surprised you wouldn't want to go as Cad Bane. I thought you really liked that guy an awful lot.
Yeah, I do like him. I do like him.
Aren't you kind of tall? Isn't he kind of tall like you though?
I'm not sure really how tall he's supposed to be. I don't remember. I guess he's fairly tall. Yeah.
Can I tell you who I think you will look great going as?
Yeah.
The Mandalorian.
Yeah. I still prefer Boba Fett, really.
Oh, the Boba Fett too. Yeah. Either or. Yeah. They're wearing helmets, so you could pull it off.
Yeah. I like the Death Watch. I think they look good.
Yeah, because Boba Fett was a Mandalorian.
Yeah, and he was a little shorter as well, wasn't he? He wasn't the tallest of characters. Yeah, but as I say, there are quite a few characters that I'd like to go as, really. But I don't think I've ever dressed up as a Star Wars character. I certainly don't remember doing so.
Well, speaking of dressing up as a Star Wars character, do you remember in the original line, or was it in the line of the Phantom Menace toys that he came up with his own figure, George Lucas?
Yeah. There is a George Lucas in Stormtrooper disguise figure. Yeah, which is a bit of a random one.
Now I have
nice choices.
Thank you. I have an interesting question for the both of you, but it's a real head scratcher.
Okay, we'll go ahead.
If you could pick any set piece from the original trilogy of films to have in your bedroom, which would you choose?
That's kind of hard because what is going to fit into my bedroom from a Star Wars movie? There's not a whole lot that's going to fit into my bedroom.
Well, imagine you had a bigger bedroom.
I don't think it's going to matter.
What set piece would you have as a bedroom if you could?
All I can think of is Jabba the Hutt's throne. If I still had my old childhood bedroom, the double garage that was made into a bedroom, I might have room for that.
My pick was gonna be the Jabba the Hutt throne, definitely. Even if that was the only thing in my bedroom, I would pick the Jabba the Hutt throne. Only that.
I think I would have a Sarlacc pit.
Maybe part of the cantina bar.
Yeah.
Ooh, I thought of another good piece. What about the set they use for the Millennium Falcon?
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be all right.
That would be
I'd like a big window, like the window in the Death Star behind the Emperor's throne. That would be cool.
Oh! I want to change my answer to the Emperor's throne, and with a set piece in the background, the window. Then every time I'm pissed, I could just sit there and be like, something dark side.
Yeah, that would be a good piece. Yeah. I think so. I think I'd pick that or the Sarlacc pit. If I could have a Sarlacc pit that wasn't dangerous.
Yeah, the Sarlacc pit, that scared me. That scene with that creature, the first time I saw it, I had to excuse myself.
Oh, really?
Well, if I may say, since it is related, I said I said this in a live stream on my channel, but the first time that I saw the Star Wars Phantom Menace in the cinema, when they got to the scene where they're underwater, the Jedis are swimming with those things in their mouths to help them breathe.
Yeah.
I pissed myself because I wasn't used to a whole underwater scene like that with them underwater and all those things around. I mean, even in Splash, they didn't have any underwater scenes like that. So when you had all the Jedi swimming in the water, and I just finished a doggone bladder buster drink. Remember when they used to have those at the cinema?
No, not in the UK, they don't.
Oh, well, they had a bladder buster. Tim, can you explain what a bladder buster is?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't understand.
Well,
is it like a big, like 2 liter drink or something?
Well, Tim, when you were a kid, when you went to the gas station, you know that size of drink you could put soda or a fruity drink in that was extremely large?
I know about the big gulps they have at 7-Eleven.
Yes, the big gulps. They had those at the cinema at the time that I went and seen Phantom Menace, and yeah, I lost my bladder during that scene. So
in the UK, our soft drinks don't come that big. We don't get massive, great, these huge, great buckets of drink. We don't have them here.
I will say that's very smart because, yeah. Tim,
saying that he would have the freezing chamber as a beer dispenser, which is yeah, that'd work. Good choice.
I wouldn't mind having that to store ice cream or things in.
Jason's off to get ready for his Hollywood Studios event. I hope you have a good afternoon, Jason, or
Hey,
evening, whatever it is in Hollywood Studios right now. I guess it's probably the afternoon there now.
hey, Jason, don't forget to ask to see the Gilmore Girls set. It's beautiful.
He's in Florida right now. He's not in Hollywood.
Oh, but I thought he was going to the tour in Hollywood.
No, Hollywood Studios.
There's a Hollywood Studios in Florida, in the state of Florida, but he's not going to actual Hollywood, California.
Oh, okay.
So it's just something named Hollywood in the state of Florida that he's going to.
Okay. And if I may ask Tim, was it okay when I told my story about the what happened in the cinema?
Yeah, it's okay.
Thank you. I won't say another word on it. I promise. So what about you? Have any of you had an embarrassing theatrical experience?
Well, I cried at the end of Return of the Jedi.
You cried at the end of Return of the Jedi, okay?
Yeah, not at the end, but when when Luke took Vader's helmet off and his dad died, I was I cried, but I was only 6, so. Yeah, I was quite upset that he lost his dad, that he found out Vader was his dad, and then his dad died. I was quite upset by that. So I had a little bit of a cry in the cinema.
Well, he did become a Force ghost, right, Tim?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's true, but I didn't know that at the time. So the scene where he takes his helmet off and he has to leave his dad there, that sort of quite upset me when I was a little 6-year-old.
Oh, Ed travels more with Jason. He's saying that studios used to be called MGM back in the day.
Okay, yeah.
Oh my God. MGM used to come out with so many good movies.
Yeah.
They were every good movie was unaltered and everything. I remember that when I was a kid, it was like every release I would get would say, it would have the dun 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 MGM symbol that would go across the screen. They always never put out a bad film. Don't you agree, Tim?
Yeah, I guess so, but the thing is, with most of MGM stuff, I've seen the older stuff. It seems like most of what MGM has now is stuff that they got from smaller studios that went under.
I agree, Tim. I'm talking about when you and me were kids, Tim, or when I was a kid. So I was talking about that time before they went bad.
I'm trying to. Well, when were you a kid? Were you a kid of the 90s?
Well, I was old enough to go to the cinema in the 90s. Yes.
Because
well, with a parent.
I was 13 in 1990.
Oh. Let's just say I was born the year The Lost Boys came out.
Okay, so you are younger than me and Monkeyboy, so you're a lot younger than us.
I think that was 86, wasn't it?
7.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because I can remember, I thought 86, but then I remember, 87, because that werewolf TV show, when that premiered, it was in 87, and I remember them showing previews for The Lost Boys on the TV commercials at the time.
Uh-huh.
But I did always like the older stuff, Tim.
Yes.
Dean said he cried when Yoda died.
Yeah.
That was pretty sad, I guess. But no, the Vader one really got me more than Yoda.
And Travels and More, Jason, Monkey Boy, I cry when Leia got dressed in Return of the Jedi, and he's got the laughing, crying emoji faces, and then Ben Stetley says, "Hey, it's Soda Cauldron, good work. That purple bastard deserves everything he gets." I don't know.
All right, let's have a look. What's he talking about? Let's have a look.
I don't know.
I don't know either, Tim. That reference gets lost on me too.
And Ben Stetley says, "At all things 80s, I cried when E.T. died, and he only went home."
Yeah, I didn't like it when E.T. got when he went all white and waxy and was like, I didn't like that very much. I think Ben's talking about where Soda's comment. He's saying that he's been rude to Skeletor this week. Okay, I shall. Is that a recent comment, Soda? Have you left that in the last couple of hours, or? I really don't remember. I did this. I started doing the scripts yesterday, but that's okay. I'm more than happy for anyone to be rude to Skeletor. It makes it more interesting.
Fellas, what does this mean? What's a dunderhead dolt?
Like a doofus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's an insult.
Oh.
So does obviously talking about Skeletor. So he's saying he's watching some of the filmation videos of his insults and going to throw some of his insults right back at him. Yeah, absolutely. Go for your life, man. No problem. I mean, obviously he will give as good as he gets, but that's part of it. I wish more people would have a go at him. It just makes it more fun then. Late yesterday. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Soda. My memory is so bad. I don't retain things very well at all. So quite often I'll read a reply, I'll read a comment and reply to it, and I won't remember it until I come to write the scripts out, and then I go back through all the screenshots I've taken of the comments to refresh my memory. But I'll look for that after this stream finishes. If you haven't had a reply from me, it means I haven't seen the comment yet. Sometimes they don't come up, but I will go and check after this stream finishes and make sure that I reply to you if I haven't done so. So thank you for that. Cheers for that. There's been quite a few questions this week, so I think the episode might be a little longer.
Then if I may ask, on that note, Monkey Boy, does that mean, have you thought about doing a two-parter to fit all of them in so you're not so
not really. I've done that once before. There was one week where I had about 25, 30 questions, something like that, and I did half of them, and then I said in the episode, don't send any more questions in this week because I've still got another half to do from the week before. But I'd prefer not to do that if I'm honest. I'd rather because I don't want people to have to wait 2 weeks for their answer, and also it just means more. It's just a pain in the arse, really. To be honest, I'd rather not split them up if I can avoid it. I mean, as the channel grows, I will soon be in a position probably where I have to limit people to 2 questions each. That's probably not very, very far off, because I have had a number of new subscribers over the last week. And if they all start writing questions, I'm going to get to the point where I have to restrict people down to 2 questions, and then after that it will be restricting to 1 question, and then after that I'm just going to have to cherry pick the best questions. And if people write crap questions, then they won't make the show. I guess I'm very lucky at the moment. I'm right in the sweet spot. I've got enough viewers and enough contributors that I'm able to fill up a show, and I haven't got too many that I have to start leaving people out. I've not missed a question yet on the show, as far as I'm aware. Certainly not to my knowledge. But we'll just have to see how the channel grows, and I'm sure people will understand if I'm getting.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
You
he's
dropped out again.
cut out again. You
Yeah,
cut
that's
out
okay.
again.
Yeah, that's all right. No, if I had 1,000 subscribers and I was getting, for argument's sake, 100 questions every week, that's not something I can do. I'm not going to put out episodes that are, half an hour long, because people won't watch them. The sweet spot is generally between sort of 8 and 9 minutes for people to want to watch. Most Skeletalk episodes are about 12 minutes long, because I normally do about 8 pages of script, and 8 pages works out at about 12 minutes of dialogue. So a lot of them, you'll notice, are around 11 and a half, 12 and a half minutes, which I think is about enough. If they start getting too long, it just means that I have to give shorter answers, and it won't be as fun if I'm not able to give 100% to the questions.
May I say my opinion?
Yep.
I completely agree on many of those points, because number one, even there's only so many questions I can ask on about one character and one TV series and all that, and we never want to feel.
The questions don't have to be about Skeletor or the world of Motu. You can ask anything you like, man. It doesn't have to be Motu related.
Okay, but I will say also, when your videos are longer than you want them to be, we can feel it, and it does sound in your voice like you go from a fun-loving Skeletor to kind of like a teacher that doesn't want to be there. So I understand. So I never want you to have to do longer videos than you're comfortable with. You and I completely understand about, in the future, not everybody getting their question read. You have to pick what fits the episode and the show the most and all that. I understand that. And the beauty.
Sorry, go on.
The beautiful thing about that is Skeletor has always been that way. If he, do you remember in the early episodes, you would be like, some twat sent a message in, but it has nothing to do with my show, so I'm not going to read it.
Yeah,
so
he's I do. There are some episodes where I deliberately choose that Skeletor's in a bad mood, and he's a lot shorter and sharper with people. But that will often be when I know I've got lots of questions. I kind of write that into the character, because because Skeletor would feel pressurized by that, and he would feel that he had too much to get through, and that would annoy Skeletor. So I kind of do that deliberately, to make him sound frustrated or short of patience. That's actually a deliberate choice. The same as occasionally he's been drunk on the show. Sometimes I just think it'll be funnier if he's drunk, so I make him drunk, and then he's great fun when he's drunk. He's actually a lot more easygoing when he's drunk. So I'll probably do that again soon.
And I will say, you really surprised me when out of nowhere you had Darth Vader come in for a few seconds. That made me laugh so hard.
Yeah, well, I do like to throw the odd character in here and there where I can, where it's appropriate. So Ben's saying he enjoyed it when Skeletor just showed a screenshot of his question and replied, "Hope you feel better soon." Well, yeah, I mean, if people write very long questions, and it, I mean, I do edit the question sometimes. If someone will write 3 or 4 sentences, if I can edit that down to get it on the screen, I will do. But sometimes I just can't edit the questions, and I feel that some of them are so long that the best way to deal with them is just to chuck the question on the screen and have Skeletor respond to the fact that it's a long question. And if people want to pause it and read the question, then obviously they can do that.
I do have a question about your figure from the last episode. How were you able to get that magnet on your dream figure, the one that says "I'm a twat"?
That was a pin. That was a button badge. I just stuck it on with some sticky tack.
Oh, were you able to get the sticky tack off without damaging the figure?
Don't know. It's still on there. I'm
So
sure
that
it'll be
means
fine. It's only a plastic figure. It's only just the that sticky stuff that you put posters up with or whatever. We call it blue tack in the UK, but I don't know what you call it in the US. Sticky tack maybe. But it won't damage the figure, I'm pretty sure. But he's still wearing that.
So that means he's still a that.
Yep. I think he'll probably wear that again in the future. I think perhaps Skeletor might use that as a punishment. If Whiplash says something stupid, he's going to make him go and wear that badge, wear that button again.
So, do you go to the cinema often?
No, not really. Not anymore. I used to go every week. But now I go maybe once every 6 months, maybe. Not very often at all.
It's okay. The last time I went, there was children talking behind me, so it's not that wholesome experience as it once was. It's almost like if I want to see a movie on the big screen, it has to be one I really, really love. Like I went and seen that Five Nights at Freddy's because it had Matthew Lillard in it, and it was the best experience of my entire life because I had always wanted Stu to return in the Scream franchise, and you get to see that he's the killer in Five Nights at Freddy's, and I finally got to see. I had to wait since 1996 to see Stu back on the big screen with that frenzied, crazy smile, and he even used the knife the same way. That classic move that let all the fans know it was him. That those kills in the Scream movie was him doing it, his character, because he holds the knife in both hands. He's the only one. Like all the other Scream killers, they just do one hand plunges in, but Stu uses both hands to hold it steady and plunge it in one go.
Oh, okay.
And he did that classic move, wearing a mask, wearing a costume, and in that one film, and he takes off his mask, and he has that crazed look, just like in Scream, and it was so good to see him act like Stu again. Because I always loved him as Stu. I didn't like him too much as Shaggy. I didn't really like him as other characters. I always loved him as Stu. Stu, he was my favorite character. Did you ever see Scream?
Yeah, but I don't remember much of it. It was a long time ago now.
Oh.
But,
well.
Let's just sorry, Monkey. Let's just catch up with the chat.
Okay.
Sorry, man.
And sorry, Nick. I was in the bathroom, so I wasn't able to get.
Hello to Nick, who's just joined us. Hello, sir. It's APC in the house.
Yeah.
It's APD rapping APC. So
okay, let's just Soda's saying about Skeletor show. He's saying when each of the 3 questions are multi-part, it must take up the time, and he appreciates that I respond to them all. Yeah, I mean, I do my best, man. I can't always cover the questions in as much depth as I'd like. My general rule is if someone asks me one question, I try and give them a reasonable answer. If they ask 3 questions, I can't give that much time to each response normally. I mean, there are exceptions to the rule. I mean, it's not a hard and fast rule, but generally I try to pace things so that people feel included and don't feel that I'm just, you know, dismissing their question or fobbing them off. So if someone asks me 3 questions, maybe 1 or 2 of them will have much shorter answers, but then maybe a longer one. I try to do it as fairly as I can and try to make it entertaining. So I'm glad you're enjoying it. Ben's saying he had a daydream about Face's head on a stick the other day, and hope he's doing okay. Yeah, Stickface is doing all right. He's not bad. Hasn't been on the channel for a long time, but he will make a return at some point. Soda also said he couldn't wait for visiting cousins. I think cousin Skeletor will come back, but as for other cousins, I'm not really in a position to make any more costumes at the moment. And I would prefer not to have to dress and undress my figures. I would rather get another figure and dress him up separately, so I've got multiples to use, because I still have cousin Skeletor. He's my vintage Skeletor. I only have one vintage Skeletor, and he's currently dressed up as a Frenchman with onions around his neck. Oh, and Dean's saying apologies to Nick, but he wasn't aware of your stream on Saturday.
No worries at all, man. Like I've just said in the comments, that there will be more. It's not. The thing is, I banged it out on all the socials and on YouTube, but I just think YouTube doesn't want my channel to ever be seen in any regard for anything.
Well, you never know when it's going to put the notifications out, because I got a notification for your stream the day after, which is it's bonkers, isn't it? I mean, it's a live stream that, you know, I mean, I know it would still be up on YouTube to view, but nevertheless, getting a notification the day after a live stream is pretty pointless, isn't it?
It does seem to make it a bit daft, but
listen, I really need to go and drain the lizard.
Weasel.
I do, yeah. I'm going to have to go and do that right now. I'll be back in a moment.
Okay.
No worries, man. No worries.
Congratulations on the rebranding of your from Action Pop Dad to the Action Podcast. But I do have a question for you.
You fire away, sir. What's your question?
Why did you or Kim make it so that my comment was not read? Because I was there and I posted my comment in the live stream, but you didn't read it. So I'm just kindly asking, why are my comments hidden when I write something in there?
Your comments are not hidden, and if I didn't get to your comment, it's just because I didn't get to it. I probably didn't read out 75% of the comments, because I'm not particularly good with comments. And to be honest with you, don't take it to heart, mate. I mean, you know, I'm not the best with comments. I'm not as good as Tim is, and I'm not as good as Monkey is.
Okay.
If I was going to ban someone, mate, I'd ban them and they'd never be seen, like wouldn't be on the channel. So please don't think that you're banned, because it's
okay.
Why would you think that we would ban you?
Because it was that moment when you said, hold on, there's a comment that I didn't read, that, and then you said, oh, I've read it before. I had sent my comment right before then, so.
Oh, I think mate, I wouldn't even think on that, to be honest with you.
Okay.
When I'm doing a live stream, I'll be honest with you, mate. As much as I love to read the comments out and everything when I'm doing a live stream, I'm doing 55 other things at the same time.
Oh,
so
okay. Well, then thank you for letting me know.
But, you know, if you ever want to ask stuff about this again, you can always chuck me a private message.
I don't know how to.
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You can always ask me to contact you via the what you call it, the section on YouTube, the community section. We've also got an email which is listed on the channel for myself and for the channel. So there's quite a few avenues to contact us.
Well, Tim, can you please, when you have time, can you let him know my Instagram name?
I mean, if it's quicker, I mean, you can do that, or you could just chuck a follow onto Action Popcast on. I'm just looking now. Instagram. Well, it's a picture of my cousin with his top off. Instagram, yeah, it's just literally Action Popcast. So we are the only Action Popcast with the blue branding. But no, you're, as I say, you're not barred or anything from the channel, mate. If you was barred, I wouldn't have even seen your comment. I wouldn't have thought. How does it work when you ban someone? Do you not see their comments? What happens?
I think it hides it, so you don't even see them. I think
because I think there's only 2 or 3 people barred from the channel, to be honest with you, and they were just they're not even people I know. They're not even known names in the community. They were just people who I think I banned a couple of commenters back in the day when I did my first video, and I got a couple of narky comments.
Oh, okay. Things are all good now. So now I have an interesting question for you. What's your opinion?
Fine. I don't think things were ever bad, mate. But yeah, no, you fire away.
Oh no. I was mistaken. But I'm saying now it's all cleared up.
Okay, but let me just put your mind at ease, Monkey. If there's ever a problem with anything, I ain't backwards about coming forwards, bud. I would address it there and then on the spot. So please don't stress yourself.
Thank you so much.
Not hold back.
Thank you so much. That means more than you know.
And I put the Action Popcast URL in the private chat.
Oh, cool.
Okay. And the interesting question I have for you is, what do you think of the newest episode for the Doctor Who with the new Doctor? What's your opinion on it?
Or Shooty's Christmas special.
Mm-hmm.
I need to see more. I need to see more of him. I don't think in principle it was a bad episode. I just don't. He's not. I've not warmed to him yet. But then I didn't warm to Matt Smith for about half a series, and then when I warmed to Matt Smith, he's become my favourite modern day Doctor. So I'm watching back. I can appreciate. It's quite hard. It's quite hard for me because, as with any Whovian, we have our favourites, and then of course David Tennant came back, and David Tennant was David Tennant, although not my, close second behind Matt Smith for me. And I just had 3 amazing episodes with David Tennant, and it's that same thing all over again. That like a Doctor I absolutely loved is gone again, and I've now got to learn a new person. And Russell T Davies is back writing for it, but I think his writing style has changed quite drastically since he brought it back initially. So that's about where I am at, without wanting to bore everyone with Doctor Who, because
technically you may not have to wait much longer, because there is this theory that they only brought on that new Doctor to check a box, and that they're going to bring back another Doctor that people are more familiar with later on. Like, they were just doing this to bring back the viewers, kind of like how they did with the other Doctor. Like, that's a theory out there. Some people think they're going to bring back Jodie Whittaker because of the movement of, like, apparently there's some people that don't like how she was, like, there's a bit of a fan base that think it was the writing that made Jodie Whittaker bad. Since we finally got a good writer, why not bring her back? So things are kind of up in the air. There's people that just are going to give this new Doctor a go. And then there's other fans that think, since we finally got one of the best writers and the people that knew how to do the series the best way possible, why not give Jodie another chance? So I don't know which they're going to go, but I just want high quality, good written episodes. How about you?
I mean, Jodie Whittaker in the fan base is not a particularly loved Doctor. So I would be surprised after bringing David Tennant back to try and get it back on track after whether you want to blame it on the writing or you want to blame it on Jodie Whittaker's Doctor's her stuff. I don't think she was a bad Doctor. She did suffer from writing, but a lot of people didn't like her. So I think it would be a bit of an odd move to bring back Jodie Whittaker so soon after they quite literally brung back Russell T Davies and David Tennant for the 3 specials to win back a load of the fans, because the viewing figures for Doctor Who were plummeting. Like it. And these specials put it back on track. To be honest with you, Doctor Who's going to do what Doctor Who's going to do. I mean, it's in the last 10 years, the last 5 years, with all this timeless child crap, and that was crap from where I'm sat, rewriting the origin of the Doctor. I don't think that was a clever move to do. And I hope to God they retcon it. I doubt they will. But, for everyone of me out there who's loves everything from the early to now, I mean, some rough stuff in between. You can't please us all, man. You can't please us all. It's like Star Wars, I wouldn't care if they never made anything past the original 3 films. I wouldn't care if that's all they ever made. But there are plenty of people out there who love it, so you have to respect that. You can't please us all.
What's your opinion on the fifth Doctor? Because have you heard Disney has signed an agreement to where they're going to do a series based on the adventures of the Fifth Doctor again? They got him to sign on.
I'm just thinking through the Doctors again. So William Hartnell, Patrick Troughton, John Pertwee, Tom Baker, Peter Davison, wasn't it? The Fifth Doctor. So let me just double check that again. Hartnell, Troughton, Pertwee, Baker, Davison. So Peter Davison, yeah, Fifth Doctor. I don't know. Be interesting.
But
they brought back Tom Baker in the 50th special as the oh God, what was he called? What was his character? He was at the end in the museum with the Gallifrey picture. Gallifrey Falls no more. The curator. I don't know. Be interesting.
I'm really excited.
Really rather depends how it's written.
I'm really excited. They're finally releasing the early seasons of the show on Blu-ray. Did you see that?
Sorry, I didn't hear that last bit. Sorry, because I've only got my rubbish earphones in tonight. What was that? Sorry.
I'm so excited. They're finally releasing the very first second or the second season of the original Doctor series on Blu-ray. Did you see that? They're finally releasing the early seasons on Blu-ray.
I didn't see that. I haven't really collected any of them on Blu-ray. I've got most of the DVD releases, but as such at the moment, what with them all being available on BBC iPlayer and already owning the DVDs, it's not really been on my radar to buy them again. But yeah, it's good. It's good for the fans out there, people who want to own the physical media.
Yeah.
But as I say, too, the other problem with me is not only do I have them all on DVD, all the ones they released, and they're all available at the click of a button. It's money in space, mate. Money in space. Because if I buy another load of Blu-rays as opposed to DVDs, I'm just not gonna have room to move. I've already got a giant TARDIS in the house, man. I've got no room. And believe me, when you go inside there, it's not bigger on the inside. In fact, it's quite small in there and dark, like a chasm.
Well, again, congratulations on the changing it to the Action Pop podcast. I agree that if you're not into something, to change it into something you're into. And so I'm happy you're keeping it alive. You're going with what your gut wants to do, and I really hope that it will be a smooth transition, and I hope everybody will be able to find it very quick. But I will say again, congratulations on the what do you want to call it? On the rebranding of it.
Yeah, rebrand. Yeah, I mean, I find that term a bit odd. It is the correct term, but I find it a bit odd because I feel like rebrands are something big companies do. But yeah, no, you're right. Let's call it a very subtle reboot, little reboot. Because there's still going to be a bit of toy stuff, just not a lot.
And I can't wait till the episode that Monkeyboy is going to be on.
Oh yes. Yeah,
So what's this episode going to be about?
Shall we reveal it, the idea now, Monkey, or shall Dave? Or no, I think we should hold back a bit, to be honest. You're just going to have to wait and see. Actually, that's a point. I must message that person I told you about, Dave. That's just reminded me. Yeah, I need to hook up a date with you and Mr. Other Thingy, who we both know, and hook up a date with Other Thingy.
Yeah.
I'm completely fine with that. The surprise excites me.
I just want to address the comment that Soda made a few minutes ago. He was saying that Robert the monkey looks like the love child of Orville and Cuddles the monkey, and yes, that's quite right. Actually, I hadn't. There was something that was niggling me about Robert the monkey that I couldn't quite put my finger on, and you've done it, Soda. Yes, it's Cuddles the monkey, but with the Orville color scheme, isn't it? So yeah, that's very cool. Thank you, man. That's a very good observation.
Well,
Tim,
speaking about
someone.
Okay,
well,
Tim. Carry on, Monkey. Carry on, mate. You crack on, dude.
Speaking about your stuffed animal, the one you turned into a vampire, whatever happened to it? Did you de-vampire it?
No, he's still a vampire.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll let you into a secret. I have two of them. I have two stuffed animals exactly the same, and I put teeth on one of them. So yeah, I decided to get a stunt double to play the vampire. So the Lampire is still good. He's currently in his coffin, and he'll probably stay in there until next Halloween, I would imagine, unless there's any reason for a Lampire to raise himself from his coffin between now and then. But otherwise, he'll probably stay there until then.
Then, since he's not a character on Skeletor, I must ask you here: when he is awake, does your Lampire prefer Lost Boys or Fright Night?
I would say Lost Boys.
Awesome. You may ask your question now, Action Pop Podcast. My apologies.
It's fine. Thank you. If Tim would allow me just to, if I could just reference something Dean said. He said, "Well, there you go. You did bring it up on screen, Tim, but we were waffling. Well, there you go. I just checked, and I wasn't subscribed. This seems to be happening a lot these days." Yeah, I put a community post out the other day on my channel to say, please, can you check if there's channels you like that you are still subscribed to them? Because I've had a few channels. I mean, that just I was not that I was subbed to, but I honestly believe YouTube has unsubbed me from some channels and channels that I watch pretty regularly. Now, it is quite easy sometimes to follow a channel and perhaps not hit subscribe. I've done it. I've ashamedly done it before. I look and go, bloody hell, I'm not subscribed to them. I should be. But generally, when I've done that, that's because I've been subscribed on my personal account and I haven't realized that I haven't subbed on this account. But yeah, I just think YouTube plays silly beggars. I mean, Dean knows better than it. Dean's been doing this a long time and knows and had some good success on YouTube, but you know, I think that it's quite harsh to everybody on every level these days. But okay, Sarah, it will be what it will be. Just keep plugging, as they say.
Well, another thing is if you watch channels regularly, YouTube automatically notifies you of their new videos anyway, even if you're not subscribed. So it happened to me with Toy Federation. I've been watching them for ages, and it was always coming up. I was always getting the notification when their videos were dropping. And then one day I just happened to look, and I saw that it said subscribe, and I thought I was subscribed. So, like you said, Nick, it can be easy to follow a channel and not actually subscribe and not realize that you haven't subscribed. We get very, very blind to screen information, don't we? And we don't always look at the same areas of the screen all the time because you kind of get blind to it.
Absolutely. But I do think YouTube has unsubbed me from some channels, though. I honestly
it's happened to me before. Yeah.
But no, I agree with that's. I know I raised that point, but and you agree with it, should I say? It can be quite easy. As I say, some people. I thought I was subscribed to them through APC, and I look a couple of times, looking, oh bugger, I'm not. But then I look back on my my personal account has one subscriber, which is me subscribing to myself. But I only keep my personal account is because before ever I upload anything on YouTube, I upload it to my personal account just to make sure I don't get any copyright stuff on it. And then if it's all good and clear, I then upload it. I can't remember who told me that trick, but it can save a lot of bother.
That's a good idea.
It came from one of the bigger YouTube channels. I don't know if they told me personally or if they mentioned it in a video. Why is it not coming to my? Anyway, it's irrelevant. But that's the trick I also use, and it just helps, and it also means I can if I do accidentally not put it on private, which I've done before. I think the last episode of the podcast was potentially on my private channel for 2 days before I made it private. So, but it only had a couple of views, and that would have been from me looking at it just to check things. So fortunately, no one had seen it, but if they had, they had. Just remember to make it. Or is it private, or there's an option that only people with the link can see it, or whatever?
Yeah, you can do it unlisted, or you can do it private.
That's the. I still get confused with things. I really do.
I watched it a few times, and I never saw any links to watch it anywhere else. So I think you're good.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it wouldn't have been disastrous. I remember, so that I did do it when the channel started in its real first video of APD I did with Luke Reynolds. I uploaded edit one of the video just because I was playing around and experimenting with how it would look when it came out, because I hadn't uploaded anything to YouTube before. And my cousin messaged me and said, "Oh, I've just watched your video." I was like, "Oh, that's not supposed to be out there. Oops." Drop that down. But
how's it not supposed to be out there if they watched it, though? That doesn't make any sense.
Because I should have listed it as private or unlisted, but I didn't.
And you don't have a Patreon that this could have been uploaded to sooner?
No, Tim. Literally, it was my first foray into YouTube. I was learning the ropes, so I uploaded a test edit of my first video of Luke, but I just uploaded it as a straight onto YouTube. So
sometimes I forget I forget that when you upload a video to YouTube, you select whether you want it to go public straight away, whether you want it to be unlisted, or whether you want it to be private. And then when you next upload a video, it remembers the last one. It remembers the last setting you had, and it does the same. And I didn't realize that. So that there was one Saturday I uploaded a video to YouTube, and because the previous week I had uploaded it on the Sunday as public, it uploaded it again as public, and then I got messages from people saying, "What, is it Sunday already?" And I was like, "Oh no, I forgot to change the settings." So it can be easily done.
I recently had an experience where I did a live stream, and I did it directly on YouTube, and for the longest time it kept saying processing, and it did that for like a long time. And then when it finally, I checked, and it wasn't on there, and so I had to look, and it had processed it in private. So sadly, nobody got any notifications. It just got, when it finally processed it, because as you know, if you don't use StreamYard, but just YouTube itself for filming a live stream, it can take up to 24 hours for it to process what you recorded and then upload it to your channel. So when I finally saw it on my channel, it said 12 hours ago, and it was in private. And so I put it on public, and I asked, and nobody had received a notification of it. So I was really sad, because it was a 40-minute live stream, and I was really sad that it had processed onto it in private. So that's 40 minutes that nobody knew about or knows about, sadly, that doesn't look when they're not gotten a notification, So I hope that wasn't too long of a explanatory story, Tim, but I will say that was one of my worst experiences on YouTube, because I did a 40-minute live stream, and just to find out that when it got done processing, nobody knew about it.
But it's lessons learned, isn't it?
Yep.
Is that a candle?
No, it's Jackson's drinking bottle.
Oh,
It's like a little But yeah, no, you're right. He does look like a candle, doesn't he?
Mm.
So
Oh.
yes, little bugger. I keep telling him not to leave his drinks bottle lids up because I had to buy a new Chromebook for him just a week ago. The first one, his Chromebook, but it wasn't his fault. I will say this, but I'm like, I don't want to have to buy another computer because, like, you know, I know some people go, well, let me use your laptop. No, that's like literally my editing suite. Like, no,
Right.
no. But yeah, so that's my boring story.
I have. Oh, I'll wait.
Ben was just saying that he's had some experience with being unsubbed from channels. So yeah, I mean, it does happen.
It's really quite annoying when it happens, but I mean, there's no I just don't let any of it bother me anymore. Like I check stuff. It's frustrating, but the channel is not a big enough concern. I mean, by concern, I mean it's not. We're not a big channel hemorrhaging followers. Don't as much as I'd love for it to grow. Just more so to like, because we put the effort in. I'd love it if people got to hear it, because I don't mind if people hear it and think I don't want to come back, but I just like people to actually have the chance to make the decision. Do I like this product or do I like this show or not? Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's half the bloody battle. But it just is what it is. But I do find it's quite a lot. It is, you know yourself, Dave, how much work it is whenever you put an episode out, like doing all your tweets or whatever. Like it gets quite a lot to do, but can't grumble because that would really be a first world problem if I grumbled about having to do tweets. But
you, if I may say, you really, in that last live stream, you really explained the process really well, and that's why it was so easy for me to accept that you were going to be rebranding, because you were like, yes, we're going to be changing it, but this is why. And by the end of your last live stream, I didn't have, well, besides that one thing, I didn't have any other questions pertaining to the live stream other than what I already mentioned. I thought everything else was neatly answered, and everything, I didn't feel in the dark about anything else other than what I already expressed. You explained it so perfectly that there's no way anybody could say that you changed it in the dark sort of way. You explained your reasons. You explained why you felt you needed to. Why everything. You explained everything so well. Your thought process behind it, and what was happening, because you were trying to like even when you said that when you went from talking about one thing to straight talking about something else with Monkeyboy, it just, that's how your mind works.
oh, my mind's like yeah, there's like, if there was a straight road that's from A to B, my mind does that and this and this and this. But I don't, look, Monkey, I don't want to hang on to it too much, but just to go back to the first thing you brought up, just to save yourself any stress in future on any live stream you go on, you just don't beat yourself up if someone doesn't read your comment out, man. Don't take it the wrong. I mean, I go on lots of live streams, and sometimes it's easy to keep up with the comments. Other times, some people might have multiple guests on. You know, if it's just me and Kim, just using this as an example, if it's just me and Kim talking, it's quite easy to keep up the comments. But I know when I'm doing a stream, I try and make sure I go around the room to speak to everyone. And as much as you want to bring the comments up, dude, I mean, if you've done live streams, comments jump, they move around. You know, any channel can miss a comment. Don't ever feel people are snubbing you if they don't. I go on other friends' streams who have got quite big channels, and you know, I'll put comments on, and they don't always get brought up, and I never feel anything about it other than, you know, wow, there's a lot of comments there, or they're doing a lot of stuff. You know, it's not, you know, generally if people are annoyed with you for any reason, they generally will tell you, or they will just, you know, they will exit you. So don't beat yourself up on stuff like that, man. It's never worth the stress, but just take it in your stride. You know, it's like no different to like when I text Dave sometimes, and sometimes I won't hear back from him because he'll be busy for 3 or 4 hours, sometimes longer. It's just sometimes I'll miss a Dave messaged me yesterday. I don't think I got back to you for over or was it yesterday? I've missed a couple of your like personal messages, haven't I? Sometimes it happens.
Yeah, it happens, man. Yep.
Life, the great distraction that is life.
I must say, I did laugh yesterday when you sent me those videos of you singing in the bath. I was pissing myself. I was pissing myself, man. It was so funny. Especially when you held that jug up to your mouth with the spout thing over your nose, like a that was brilliant. I did laugh.
So that all started. So I was on Universal Toy Collectors, one of his live streams. I know Tim certainly done his talk where, what's the name of My Collecting Life? Sorry, Stu.
My Collecting Life.
Yeah, really good show that Stu does. I really enjoy that show, and I've been lucky enough to be on it as well. And I believe Dave's going on it at some point. And
yeah, I hope so.
You know, it's. Oh yes, right. Anyway, so I got to know Stu, and we've become quite good friends, and we meet up fairly frequently because we're only a couple of hours away from each other, so it's quite easy to meet up in places. And I have got a bad habit of, if I'm in the bath, I don't show anything explicit, but when I'm led in the bath, sort of chest up with foam on my chest, I will record myself bellowing out at the top of my voice, singing along to whatever song. It could be a pop song, it could be a rock song, it's whatever my musical taste is flipping varied. So I send these to people sometimes because why wouldn't I? But anyway, I was on one of Stu's other streams called the Carnage stream. And it was a very adult stream. He even said at the beginning, like, that's the one I sent you the clip of today, Dave.
Yeah.
We brought the tone down in about 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And he started off that whole stream by introducing me of playing a video of me singing Gold in the bath. And there was like quite a big audience in. So like everyone knows I do this. And yeah, but I had an idea for a game. I'm not going to do it now. But I'll tell you the wasted idea. I was going to do a quiz stream. And one of the rounds was going to be me playing videos of me in the bath, but I was going to mute the volume. And people would have to work out from seeing it without volume what song I was singing. And then I'd play the clip after with the song. But then I realized that the copyright claims would be massive. Not that I monetize, it doesn't really matter. But I just thought, no, let's abandon that idea. But that was, I've literally got about 10 segments still on my phone recorded of me singing songs that were all going to be used in this quiz. So I thought, I've never seen anyone do that.
I'm starting to think of a Bugs Bunny cartoon now, hearing a bathtub song.
Yeah, it was quite funny, man. Yeah.
Well, I think at one point that's the one where I start banging the jug on my head to make the bass drum, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm,
I think why it's so funny is because it's done very seriously. You know, it looks like you really are taking it seriously, which is just makes me laugh. Yeah,
Oh,
that was good. I did enjoy those.
I think you got a Tenacious D one last night, didn't you?
Yeah, I've got Tenacious D, and then you sent me the ones that you'd sent to Stu. But no, they were good. They were good, man. I appreciated those.
Tenacious
rat-
D, I don't know who that is.
Oh, it's Jack Black's band, or he's got a he. It's him and another guy, and they make songs, but it's they're very good actually. Jack Black is actually a very, very good vocalist.
Oh, he's
Mhm.
incredible. So there is a video on YouTube of him with the Foo Fighters, and he's doing what's the Led Zeppelin song? Immigrant Song. And I tell you what, can that man sing Immigrant Song? Wow. Because he can properly do the which is really hard to do. I can't do that because I don't really have any high range in my voice. I just sort of seem, when I sing it, I sort of hit there, then it's like the voice just turns off. It's exactly like when you get a microphone and you put a limiter on it and it hits a level and that's it.
Yeah,
doesn't pick up anything above that range, you know. So so apologies for sending you chest upward nude videos of me in the bath singing songs from.
I was just waiting for you to pan down though and show me your ghoulies. I thought this is going to happen any minute now, and I was just like, oh, do I watch this or not? Because I was convinced it was going to happen. I thought you were going to at some point just go. I was like, oh shit.
True story. Before I ever press send on any of those videos, I always watch them back because sometimes I will get a little bit rocking out with the phone, and I don't want to accidentally pan down.
Well, you looked like you had plenty of bubbles in there, though.
Oh, mate, no word of a lie. This is, I'll tell you how to have a divine bubble bath. You got to you got to get yourself. It's honest. So this is Chillstream chat here. This is how you chill out, right?
Mm-hmm.
You go into the bathroom. You make sure it's nice and warm in there. You run yourself a nice deep bath. I'm talking the sort of bath you get in it, and it's going to come up above your nipples, right? Or lots of bubbles. You get a decent speaker. You stick on Kylie Minogue. Yeah. Oh yeah. Best of Kylie Minogue. Blaring top volume. Vape in one hand, beer in the other. Singing along to Kylie in the bath. All you can do is. I love it.
Your neighbours must love you.
Well, fortunately, see, my bathroom's downstairs, which is actually really annoying if you need a pee in the middle of the night, because as I'm getting older, my bladder's not as good as it once was. But because of how my house is built, like you definitely hear it if you walk by, but you because it's sort of out and removed from any of the living parts of the house, so to speak. The closest room to it's my kitchen, so there's like my bathroom, which is technically an extension on the house, because this house didn't originally have a bathroom. That's how old this house was when it was built. And kitchen, and then my neighbour's house. So it doesn't really like anyone walking by, but there's no one behind me because it's like the countryside.
Right.
So I'm very aware that if we do move this year to somewhere somewhat more, there's every chance we may have to move a bit more towards town. Now, the town near me is still not a town like a big town. It's still a very farmy community. But I'm very aware that my bath time hijinks may have to calm down if I move to certain properties.
Well, do you want to know what I consider the best way to have a bath?
No, go on.
To have the soundtrack of the Lost Boys playing while having the David rubber ducky in the bath with you, because they do have a rubber ducky that you can get that looks just like David for the Lost Boys.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I have a quick.
Let me just get to this comment, because if I don't get to this comment, the irony will destroy the internet. Ben is saying there's definitely a sweet spot for numbers in live streams, especially for us in the chat. It's always nice to get a response to your comment, but best to expect very little when the numbers are high. And obviously, yeah, that's right. I mean, if the chat is racing up and you've got 50 people commenting, then it is easy to miss stuff. But while there's only what have you got at the moment? There's nine people watching the stream, so there's not really much excuse for missing comments.
But sadly, though, I'm a bit rubbish though, because we have between 15 and 20 in a chat normally, and I'm terrible for missing comments. I just struggle with it. I actually do. It's not because I'm ignorant or anything. It's just when it's all going on and I'm watching. And
yeah. Well, I mean, different people handle things differently. I mean, we've got Dean in the chat, or at least he was in the chat, who's one of the most professional live stream hosts you can imagine. I mean, his streams are so inclusive, and he always makes sure he gets to everyone in the chat, and it's quite remarkable how he does it sometimes, because quite often there are quite a lot of people, but he still makes the time and still manages to do it. But it's everyone's different, aren't they?
Dean's incredibly good at it. I just seem to, I don't know. If I come across calm on live streams, I sometimes I wonder why I do live streams, because I don't do many lives, because most of our stuff's pre-recorded for a reason. Because we did the first episode of the podcast live as a live stream, and I struggled with all of it. I struggled with there's comments going, and it's just I'm trying to focus on the material, everything we got to say, and I'm just a bit rubbish, I don't know, but I'm just not very good at it. I always find I just find it really hard, but that's what I have a lot of respect for people who do it so smoothly. Tonight I'm editing a live stream that we did back in the summer. I'm editing it into podcast format as like a sort of special feature APC episode, because it's connected to another episode, because the film hadn't come out. Anyway, don't want to bore you. It's not about my channel, but listening back, so I edit myself a lot, because obviously I edit the podcast. Listening to how I speak in live streams without a script, because it's generally unscripted. Like, the podcast isn't scripted, but there are very specific things that you've got your bullet points. We're going to cover this, 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 and this. You're going to go through that. When I don't have that in front of me, I find it really difficult, and I can hear it in my speech, because I've had to chop out so many and I know everyone and ums, but an excessive amount of repeating myself, because that's a verbal tick I have. I'll repeat the same thing, and then I'll say something, then repeat it again immediately.
Right.
And it's nowhere near as bad in the podcast. It still happens, but it's nowhere near as bad in the podcast episodes as it is from what I'm editing down for this live stream. I don't know if it's just because it's a little less structured. Maybe I work better with structure, is what I'm trying to say.
Right. Yeah.
Which is we're all apparently Monkey's stuck backstage. He's
Oh.
stuck.
Tim,
He's
Monkey
like,
stuck. I don't know if Tim's still with us. He might be in the bathroom.
aha, he drinks too much Dr. Pepper.
Yeah,
But-
I've been drinking a lot tonight, but I've only had one slash so far.
I tend to find I'm all right until I break the seal. Once I break the seal,
yeah.
it's only a matter of time. The worst one is at the moment is because it's really Baltically cold down here at the moment, like really cold. I just tend to find the cold makes me need to go more and more.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, a really exciting thing to bring up on a chill stream. I can appreciate, but
No, it happens. I mean, it's yeah. I think I said the same thing to reading movies today when we were out in the town because it was so bitterly cold today, and then we both suddenly we were just like we had to go to the loo. But yeah, but it's a strange thing in the cold to urinate because you would think that your body would want to keep the warm liquid inside, but you know, and then you go for a wee and then you're even colder.
it's weird, isn't it? I need you to tell me if I made the right decision today on something. So something occurred today. And it was one of those moments in life where I had to make a decision on the fly. So there's a little like working men's club 2 minutes away from where I'm working. And I saw they do coffee. So I nipped in there and said, is there any chance I can buy? I'm not a member, but can I buy a coffee? I'm blooming freezing. I've run out of coffee. Of course you can. They said, come in. You can help yourself. Whatever you want, we'll serve you. Come in, warm up. Brilliant. Now, I saw that they sold chips. And I wanted to take away a portion of chips. And I ended up picking cheesy chips. Did I make the right decision? I'm still undecided.
He keeps
Just
dropping
dropped out
in and out, in and
We're
out.
back. Was it what kind of cheese was it?
Cheddar. Proper cheddar as well. Like they didn't. It wasn't low quality cheese. It was very tasty cheese. Too good for chips. One might say.
Was it sprinkled on top of the chips or mixed in with the chips?
It was sprinkled on top. But by the time I got back to the place, because they'd wrapped it in foil for me to take away, because they didn't actually. This is how good they were. They didn't actually do takeaway, but they wrapped it up in a little bowl for me, and said, "Well, bring it back when you're done." I was like, "Oh, I'm here a week. I'll bring it back tomorrow." That's how good they were.
I think that's
so the
right
cheese
decision.
Yeah. But did I make the right choice?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Are they proper chips?
They were proper chips, mate. Proper chips.
Excellent. Yeah.
Proper
I think
crispy.
that was a winning decision. I think you did well.
I'm just not sure if I should do it again tomorrow. Can you have chips 2 days in a row?
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah. Have you still got the bowl?
I've still got the bowl. I've got to take it back tomorrow, and this is where I think it's going to fall down because I'll go, no, I won't have chips tomorrow, and I'll walk the bowl back to them on my lunch break, and I'll be like, chips.
Yeah, I'd go for cheesy chips again.
So I don't know what it was like in America, you guys growing up, but I don't know what it was like at your school. But do you remember, like, our school, basically, in the late 90s, teen years, what you lived off of was chips, turkey Twizzlers, and turkey burgers. That was the staple diet of teens in Dorset, because that was pretty much the option at school.
Yeah.
Here in America, we had Cheez-Its.
You had what? Sorry?
Cheez-Its.
Those are crackers, though. I don't think Nick was talking about crackers, though.
Monkey, when we say chips, we're talking about potato slices of potato, not potato chips in a bag. We're talking about thick fries.
Yeah. Your chips are something like French fries, but didn't you say they're like bigger and a little bit harder.
Yeah.
Because
I think-
sorry, you say your thing first, Monkey.
I was just going to say, I think that's where the confusion has come from, because we're saying chips, and to an American ear, that sounds like we're saying potato chips, but we're not talking about those.
Oh, yeah, because we call them crisps here.
Yeah.
You have a bag of crisps. You don't have a bag of chips. You have a bag of crisp.
Yeah.
And there is room in the world for chips and fries, because I don't always want chips and I don't always want fries. Chips, you wouldn't have proper big fat fried chips with a McDonald's now, would you? It wouldn't make sense. That would almost be a crime.
It
That'd be
wouldn't make
wrong.
any sense.
Well, I prefer my fries with mayonnaise.
Yeah, it's
That
a
I
good
don't
choice.
understand.
Yeah, that's a good choice. I like chips and mayonnaise. Yep, that's nice.
I like
Fries.
French fries with ketchup or with cheese whiz or some sort of like nacho cheese dip.
I like chips with
Nice.
everything. I like ketchup,
Chips
mayonnaise,
and curry.
brown sauce, curry. Yeah.
Chips and gravy is all right.
That I don't understand.
It's I tell you what, Tim. If you've never tried it, please don't go to your grave having never tried it.
I don't
It's
think
one
I'd
of those.
like it. I don't even like
see-
gravy on turkey.
Oh,
Gross.
if you don't like gravy, you might not like it. But
Yeah, that's the biggest flaw in the plan, I think. But let me tell you something. Chips are chips. Baked beans with Tabasco sauce mixed in with them and mayonnaise. On top, dump a handful of grated cheddar on. Mix that SOB up.
How did you know I did that? I did that, and I will say I've had the chips like you're talking about with the gravy on it, and I will say I finished that whole thing. The way you're talking about having the chips with gravy is good. Having fries with gravy on top, delicious. I went out and I bought another bag, and then after I was done with the other bag, which was my second bag, I was like, oh my God, I just had 2 bags of French fries with gravy on them. I need to stop or I'm going to develop a problem.
See, you guys have got to have a chip butty then. A chip butty is
good chip butter. Yeah.
It's got to have a load of butter in it though, like tons of butter. Like for me,
If
I've got to have butter running down my hand because there's so much in there, and then I start chips and melting it.
I understand. I had to take a shower after I was done. But I have a question for you, and everybody else already answered it earlier. And the question is, have you seen the how many versions of Willy Wonka have you seen, and which is your favorite?
Well, I like the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory because it was a film I watched a lot as a kid. I like the Johnny Depp Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. They're the only ones I've seen. They're 2 completely different films, although based on the same story. For memorable song, the songs in Willy Wonka are better than in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, in my opinion. I don't know. I think I like them both, but they've got different films, and I saw them at very different points in my life. So, you know, the Johnny Depp version's never going to be as special to me as like the Gene Wilder. It was Gene Wilder, wasn't it, who was in Willy Wonka?
Yeah.
Very, very, very different films. I like them both. Sorry, I can't give you a definitive answer. As for the prequel film they've done, I've heard a lot of people say that it's good. I have to be honest. Nothing about it excites me, But that's not to say I'll never watch it, because I'm sure it will pop up on TV one day and I'll be sat with nothing to do and I might watch through it. But I'm not
Can
going
you
to.
can you
I'm not
tell
going
which is
to
my favorite?
position myself to.
Can you tell which is my favorite?
That kind of looks like the girl who ate the gum.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That wasn't Veruca. Was it Veruca Salt who ate it, or was it
No, it was Violet Beauregard.
Violet? That's the one. Thank you.
Veruca
Veruca
Salt-
Salt's the one who went down the egg thing or the nut thing, depending on which film.
Yeah, Veruca Salt was a spoiled girl. Was a spoiled rich girl.
And yeah, was it Mike TV, the one who got shrunk?
Yeah.
And who were the other kids? Oh, Gustus Gloop. He went up
Yeah,
the chocolate chute.
Yeah, he would eat a lot and he'd get fat.
Yeah. Do you think though that like the scene in the Gene Wilder film where they're going through that tunnel is just the most mental acid trip ever?
Yeah.
Because there's even a scene where they actually cut a bird's head off.
Yeah, it's a chicken. You see the chicken and then you see the axe go down, but you don't see any blood or anything.
It's just that was.
I'm gonna have to look that up on YouTube later.
And they would always cut that bit up when it was shown on the Disney Channel. They would just show the chicken's head, and then they wouldn't show it like the meat cleaver or axe going down to cut off the head. It would just cut to the next part of the boat ride. So
why doesn't that surprise me?
If you look, my screen kind of looks like that now. That scene.
Da, 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 da. Yeah, da, 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 going. Is it raining? Is it gonna? Not a shed of light is showing, so something must be going. Stop the boat.
It was quite good seeing old what's his oh god, that's terrible. I had his name, it's gone. Why does my brain do this?
Gene Wilder.
Christopher Lee in the Johnny Depp version as his dad.
Okay.
I quite liked him though. He was
I'm very surprised that you caught that. I was actually, in my personal opinion, that was the saving grace in the entire film, that they brought him back. And I thought the way they kind of gave the fans closure, that in that version everybody made it out alive. I mean, they were pretty much freaks when they exited out. Like, you saw the girl was like all stretched out, and you saw it's like, even though they in the Johnny Depp version, you didn't leave the film thinking what happened to everybody else that failed his tests. They showed everybody leave the factory alive, but the way they had them look made me feel that they were grotesque and that they never were going to have a normal life afterward, you know? But I will say it was interesting how they gave Johnny Depp's a father in the Johnny Depp one, because Action Pop, do you want to explain how they showed his house when Willy Wonka found him?
It was like an old it was like a house on an almost derelict street. It was black brick house, very wonky and cobbled together looking, but it had that nice brass plaque on the front of it, if my memory serves.
I don't know how you remember all this stuff. I can't remember anything about that.
My instant recall memory is terrible, but like when I had to think about Christopher Lee for a minute, it happens to me all the time. I go, think of a name, or I want to say something, and the name of the person will just go. My brain will just go, no, I'm not going to give you that information for at least 5 seconds to make you as uncomfortable as I possibly can.
Huh.
But my long-term memory, sometimes I think it would be a blessing if perhaps my long-term memory wasn't as good as it is.
Huh.
It'd be nice to forget stuff sometimes. It really would.
I forgot so much stuff, but I don't know the reason for it. I don't know if it's a medical thing or if it's if there's some other. I mean,
My
I
wife
did
doesn't have a
a
good
head
memory.
injury.
My wife doesn't have a good memory. I mean, it's not to the level of like what you've said about, but you know, we'll sit and we'll watch a TV series, and I can almost bring up lines from it or completely remember things. She's like, "How do you remember that?" I'm like, "We only watched it a while ago." She's like, "It's probably been 5-6 years." And my brain retains stuff like that. My missus is blessed in a sense that, like, if there's so I wish I could erase Breaking Bad from my head so I could watch it all again to marvel in it.
Yeah.
I really genuinely enjoyed that show.
Yeah.
But I can remember, like, don't get me wrong, I've watched it like twice through now, but the second time wasn't as good because I just remember everything. I just know what's coming.
Yeah.
But Carlo will be like, I don't remember any of that. I don't remember that. So she sort of remembers the general crux of the story, but she don't remember, not like me, like episodic memory. I can literally like remember every episode. I can't necessarily remember the names of the episodes, but
have you guys seen Sons of Anarchy?
I have.
You haven't seen that, Tim?
Interesting thing about it is I love how they have the guy who played the lead singer, I think, in that one movie, Almost Famous. He is the one that plays the father that you just hear in the first season, him reading the journal, and you hear it in the father's voice, because the lead character, he found his father's journal. What?
The character you're referring to is John Teller, Jackson's dad.
Yeah, I love that they got that actor to be in that season, because I loved him in that film, and I always wanted to see him in more, but I never saw him in any more films or nothing. So when I started that show, and I was like, I recognize him in that photo because they show the father in that first episode, and I'm like, I recognize him, and then I hear his voice, and I'm like, oh my god. And his voiceovers were the best part of that first season. Well, aside from that episode where you get the photo sent to his girl that was taken by the FBI agent. Not saying anything more, but I will say it. I was so happy they got that guy to do it, because do you remember what they did? They had him look almost identical to how he did in Almost Famous.
Don't remember that.
Yeah, I still haven't seen Almost Famous. That's still a movie I need to see. I don't even own it.
Good film. I got a light bulb moment for Dave Monkey. For Dave. What's my son's name?
Jackson.
Why is he called Jackson?
Don't know.
His name. We took the name. We loved the name JAX from Sons of Anarchy.
Right.
Yeah, I don't.
I knew the answer, but I was giving him a fair go to answer it.
Yeah, Sons of Anarchy, I'm not familiar with.
It's really good.
It's good.
Here's a good show. Sorry to put you on the spot there, Dave. I just wondered if because we quite often get asked, "Oh, is he named after Thingy from Thingy?" It's like, well, he was always going to be called Jackson, Jackson. But I
Right.
really liked the spelling of Jax, because in the show, Jackson Teller is not spelt Jaxon. It's spelt traditional spelling of Jackson.
Yeah.
They just change it to Jax for the abbreviated version, but we added the on because I would have quite happily just called Jax, but Carla's like, no, it's gonna be Jackson. That was our compromise. He was Jackson. So yeah, that's how that came about. So but unfortunately, all we've actually done is cursed him for everyone to spell his name wrong for the rest of his life.
Yeah, but Action Podcast. Did you answer the monkey's question from earlier? That I put it on the screen. Do you prefer Lost Boys or Fright Night to best watch?
This is what happens with comments.
Yeah.
I've only ever seen Fright Night once, and it was very, very, very long time ago. And I probably would need to watch it again because, as good as my memory is, I don't remember enough about it. But I've seen Lost Boys probably 20 times, and I think Lost Boys is a great film.
Oh, I love Lost Boys. It's fantastic.
It's such a good film, and the music and just the It's just I love the over the top scene where they're all like down the pier, and you've got that like super hench muscle dude playing the
covered in butter, the heavily buttered up saxophone player. Yeah, he still does that now. That guy still makes a living playing that song. He goes round and plays that song in clubs and stuff. And his name is Tim Capello. And he still does that now.
Is he still big and buff? Sorry, what's that, Monkey?
No, but he still does wear the codpiece.
Amazing.
I know. It's bizarre.
I would. But that's the thing, isn't it?
Thank you, Tim, for getting my question answered.
Okay.
Anyway, we should probably check in with Tim. We've been going over 3 hours, Tim. What do you want to do time-wise? Do you want to call it?
I just want to go through this last bit of the chat before we end.
Okay.
Tree Theodore says, late 90s U.S. would have been fries with various dipping sauces at Spielberg's restaurant, The Dive. And All Things 80s thanking Ben for something. Yeah, I guess it was something he said earlier. He said, obviously praise to Dean of All Things 80s on that subject as always. They were talking about something.
I think we were talking about the fact that Dean always gets to his questions in his comments, that he doesn't miss people.
Yeah, All Things 80s well deserved. And Ben says, at Action Popcast, chips hot enough to melt the butter too.
Yeah,
he knows.
You're making me hungry.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. But other than we're going to end soon, so.
Okay. Well, then, thank you. I think I'll do that now. So just so you know, Action Pop, there, you inspired me to the next time I go out. I'm going to get chips and I'm going to get gravy.
Top man.
Good stuff.
Get yourself a beer Moret to go with that. Boom, boom.
Cool. Yeah. Well, thanks to everyone for joining us this evening. Thank you to the original YouTuber, The Monkey, and his top hat. Thank you to Nick Action Popcast for joining us. If you guys haven't checked out Nick's channel, it is now called the Action Popcast. Do go on there and check out the videos, and stay tuned to Nick's channel for coming episodes. you want to do a plug, Nick? Tell us. I mean, I know you don't really want to. You can't really give away what you've got coming up next, but maybe you can tell us when it's coming.
Okay, well, thank you for the opportunity. 3rd of February, me and Kim will be returning with episode 1 of season 2 of the Action Popcast. This episode, the subject of the episode won't be revealed till about a week before. Build a bit of suspense, I guess. I don't know. But it's something a bit different. It's something that was very big in the 90s in England, and it was just a bit mad and a bit nuts. And I think even if you didn't grow up in the UK, you will very much enjoy it. I can assure you that on the Action Popcast, I'm somewhat more organized than I am on just chill streams. There will be stuff to talk about. But if you want to come along, if you want to check us out, that'd be great. And of course, I'm on all the socials, X, Instagram, Facebook, all under Action Popcast. And if you type Action Popcast into Google, it directs you to them all. And also the episodes are all available on your preferred streaming services. Thank you very much. How did I do?
Cool. And I can strongly recommend everyone checking out the podcast when it does come out. Nick and Kim really do their research and do their homework. And even if you're not familiar with the subject, you will soon be familiar with the subject. So it's definitely worth checking out. I can strongly recommend that.
Thank you very much for the kind words.
No worries. Well, thanks for coming and joining us.
Yeah, thanks for coming, Nick.
Thank you, Tim. I'm sorry I gave you a bit of a heart attack at the beginning of the stream because I almost didn't make it in time, but we got there in the end.
Yeah, I was worried. I was wondering because I was taking a nap on the sofa, and then I noticed, okay, it's getting close to 12 o'clock. I better get up now. And then I was wondering where you went.
Yeah, no, the issue with my phone, for some reason, my phone was telling me that it couldn't connect to the internet, and I hadn't received the StreamYard link. But I switched my phone off and restarted my phone, and then it went a little bit crazy and things started flashing on my phone for some reason. And then it was fine. So I was able to join right at the last moment. So all's well that ends well.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you so much, Tim. We'll talk soon.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
Thanks, Nick.
99.
Speak to you soon, guys.